Okay, so we are live. I believe we are live now. And okay, let's just do a test. Somebody make a noise. Let's make sure that the camera switches to them. Take off your mic and switch off your mic and then make a noise.
Can you hear me?
Okay, cool. It's working. It should toggle between whoever's talking. So this is I don't know, the third annual AV official online meeting. And we've got a few volunteers here, not as many as I'd hoped, but we're gonna hopefully more people will be joining us soon, and we're gonna have all this recorded so they can, and it's also live right now. So if anybody wants to share it, they can share it while we're broadcasting. My name is Pafo Ortiz. I am the organizer, the head organizer for Portland Anonymous for the Voiceless, and we have a few members here, and we were hoping to have a larger turnout. We just need to address some issues, some technical issues, some I don't know what the word is, maybe uh, protocol, structural, behavioral issues while we're demonstrating, things like that that just need to be addressed, and so that we can get back out there and start educating the public again on animal rights and what's going on with animal exploitation and animal agriculture. So I'm just going to get on the list and mention a few things. um, I already mentioned to you guys about the documents. I think everybody knows about those. If you have any questions about them or things you want to comment on, just let me know. But basically, we've got a series of documents with some really important links to some really important websites that can act as excellent resources for people who do online activism and also for those who are doing street activism. And I've provided that because there's been some issues with people dropping out of the group messenger chat because there's just too much back and forth chatter and like discussion there. It was never meant to be like a discussion platform, but it was meant to just be for announcements. And there's like over 150, almost 200 people there. So I really want to cut back on the chatter. And the way to do that is also by providing the resources and the links to everyone, whether they're new or old, a seasoned activist or a brand new AV member. They can just access it in the file section. They have everything they need. They have the VLC player, the the videos that we use for Cube, and the songs. There's also just a ton of other resources to help them. And then I don't have to keep sharing the same information week after week. So I mentioned that, so you guys should all know about that. There were points that that Elizabeth had made in her post about a week ago, and we covered that in the last meeting, but I'm going to go over them really quickly. And then you guys just chime in if you have any questions. We talked about a possible signal for outreachers if they ever need help, because there was an issue with too many people, too many outreachers kind of ganging up on bystanders, and it makes them feel threatened and intimidated, and they put their defenses up and they dig their heels in and they just want to argue. So we want to keep a rule that it's literally just like one, maybe two outreachers to each person. Feel like it's something you can't handle, or they're throwing excuses and questions and justifications at you that they're out of your league, we can have a little signal where just I'm continuously roaming, walking around, so I'll see it if you're having trouble. I'm usually, kind of paying attention to everything, trying to pay attention to everything. So just throw like the peace sign up behind your back, or like just say excuse me for a minute and then just grab me and let me know. But the idea is we don't ever want a bunch of outreachers ganging up on a bystander. We just want to keep it like a one-on-one dialogue conversation. But it's okay to need help. If you need help, just ask somebody. But the problem is I think that there were some people who weren't as familiar with how we do things, and it ended up just kind of like escalating the situation. And we don't want to do that. We want people. We want to like keep people in an emotionally like open state where they watch the footage and they're open and receptive to what we have to say, not like feel like they're being attacked. And that happens obviously just with the presence of like a large group of people. So it's best to keep it like one-on-one conversations. So yeah, only one person speaking should be speaking per person. Um, I'm also gonna create like a pre-written message for the welcoming, like when when people request to join Portland AV, I there's 3 questions they have to answer. Once they answer them, I add them as a friend, I add them to the group, and I also add them to the group messenger chat, which is now called Portland AV Announcements. And I want to create a kind of a pre-written message that can just get sent like automatically to each new person or in the group each time I add new people, because they end up getting confused. They don't know how many people are in that chat. They end up asking a bunch of questions, and it becomes this back and forth like dialogue discussion, and it's really only meant to be like a bulletin board. So I want to let them know, if you want to turn off your notifications, you can hit mute notifications, but definitely stay in that group messenger chat, because that's how I communicate with everyone, like in mass. That's like the day of, when people need help with logistics. I can't be like have a million people calling me, texting me, and I can't be trying to get in touch with a million different people at the same time. That's sort of my like my megaphone to be able to communicate important information about the event itself, about location, time, whatever. Even though all that stuff is in the event page, people are still, they might not know what's going on. So right up to the last minute. So the point is, I'm gonna have like a welcoming thing that says, this is not for discussion, it's for announcements only. If you feel the notifications are annoying or distracting, you can just turn them off from your phone. You can turn them off on your computer by hitting mute conversation, and everybody here should know that. There are now 2 group discussion chats. One is called Portland AV like core members chat, and that's specifically designed for discussion, questions and like back and forth. There's not as many people in that. And then there's the big group messenger chat, which has like, over 150 people. That's just for announcements. That's just to share links. It's just to um, communicate like just the vital important information, that has to do, that pertains to events only, or outreach, important information to help outreachers learn and develop their skills as street activists. Invite people to the discussion chat. No more interrupting. Yeah, that's the same thing I mentioned earlier about uh, that outreachers, we do not want, if someone's having a really good conversation, the worst thing you can do is like butt in, even if you hear it and you know that they're saying something and you feel like you could say it better. Let that outreacher do what they need to do for the sake of that person, because we don't want to lose the person. So it's just about like, I know a lot of the newer members are very like passionate and zealous, but they need to learn to just be reserved and remember, it's all about the efficacy of what we're doing, and it's not just about like proving people wrong and just proving how much you know, and this is not about egos. Like, this is not about how much I know, how much anybody knows, or how little the bystanders, the non-vegans know. It's like, literally, this is about the animals. You always have to keep in mind, keep it at the forefront of your thoughts and focus, of why we're there, what we're doing it for. We're doing it for the animals. So it's really important that we engage with people in a civil and polite way. Um, so if it ever escalates, you can just say, okay, I'm sorry you feel that way. Here's some information. Have a good night. We're not out there to debate. That's the whole thing. I mean, if it was a debate, everybody in a debate, I could dismantle every argument and demolish them. But that's not why I'm there. Like, purpose of AV, it's to expose people to the truth, share the information, educate the public, and gently lead people toward this conclusion of being vegan and really being a vegan activist. That's the idea. So this is not a social event. Please reserve all leisurely personal convo and picture taking for the post cube dinner. So again, you can take pictures, you can take video, but just be smart. Use common sense. Like just don't get in the way of the outreach that's taking place. That's the point. Don't let it. Don't forget like what we're doing there. Like, we should literally have the mentality that this is like a funeral, that we're that were at like a friend's funeral, and I just realized that my face was cut off all the time. That were at like a funeral and were showing the footage of how our friends were horribly butchered and murdered. So if you were at a funeral or a wake and were trying to raise awareness um, and find justice to these friends of ours, the animals, uh, you wouldn't think about the mentality, think about the state of mind that you'd be in. This doesn't mean that we can't, laugh and have a little bit of banter every now and then, but like in general, we're there. It's not a protest, but we're there standing in solidarity together, advocating for justice. We're there to show the injustice of what's taking place everywhere around the world. So just remember that and keep a serious, um, you know, somber outlook on it. I mean, all you gotta do is look at the footage, and it'll bring you right back to to what we're doing there, why we're there, and the right sort of the right state of mind that you should be in. We should. I mean, people they say that I look really serious, I look really intense, and it's because it's important to me. Like it's very, very important that we communicate things effectively, because those people that we reach, will turn vegan. They will, in turn, influence other people to go vegan, and it spreads. And it's very important the work that we're doing. So it's not a social event, and also, it's just all about having that balance. That we're not there to argue, we're not there to socialize. We're there to do a job. I think of it as a job. Let's just think about we're all wearing black. This is like it's a serious professional experience. I hope that doesn't like turn off the new people too much. If you're like, oh yeah, that sounds horrible, I don't have anything to do with it now. I did have one member once say, like, oh, you guys are, it's AV's getting too serious. Like when I took over and I put out a bunch of stipulations, I was like, I want to make this professional. I want to keep things more. I want to get things structured. I want everybody to be committed. I want to have dedicated people only. And this person was like, "Oh, I don't. This is too serious for me. I mean, it sounds too strict. I don't want to have. I don't want to be a part of that anymore." Well, I'm thinking in my head, like, well, what was it to you before? I mean, you're showing footage of baby animals being slaughtered and ground up alive. Like, what were you doing during the Cube events before that you're now thinking that you know you don't want this to be a serious a serious event, a serious experience? I mean, that's what it should be. That's what it should have been from the beginning. So anyway, anybody who knows me knows I've got like a lighter side, but it's like when I'm there to do a job, and it's personal to me. It's very important. So I think everyone should have that same level of commitment and dedication to the cause. And then just talking about conversions. A conversion is not. This is directly from Brad Simmons. He's the sort of associate director of AV. Um, a conversion is not anyone that you speak to, nor everyone that takes a card. It is someone that, through your conversation, you genuinely feel will go home and take this issue seriously. Whether that be watch a documentary, further research, challenge 22, etc. A bystander saying, "I will look into this," is not necessarily a conversion, because they could be just saying that to get away from you quickly. You need to gauge through body language, their reaction to the footage, etc. Are they upset? And what is their reaction to the conversation? Are they asking questions? It's an estimate. It is imperative that outreachers keep their personal tallies conservative. It means, like, don't say, oh, well, I'm hoping that this person will, so I'll just mark them down. We only want to keep a record of those people that at the end of the conversation they've been affected. Like, that they've been affected, and they that they're going to go home and look into it and take it seriously, that they're on that path. Like, obviously, I mean, some people, it can happen. It's happened. They can convert right there, and they can just be like, I can't. I don't want to be part of this anymore. This is horrible. I never knew about this. Um, like, what can I do to help, to change, to make things better? And we give them all the information, and it happens. But most people, it's just about raising their awareness, planting seeds that later, hopefully, others will water, and that will, that awareness, that knowledge will grow, and it will lead them to a vegan lifestyle. So also, it's not a competition to achieve the highest number. We want realistic and accurate numbers. So again, these things, I'm not accusing anybody of anything. I mean, this is, I think, one of the least important things about it. I think it's all about the connections that we make, the communication that we have, how much of an impact we've made on them. But the tally is just a necessary aspect of this, just to kind of report back to the founders, the main organizers, and it just kind of creates a demographic. And also, if our numbers are really low, then they can reach out to us and talk to us about, maybe we need to change location, maybe we need to step up our game when it comes to how we talk to people and stuff. So it's not about ego. It's not about a competition. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't just it's just keeping the record of it. And we write it down as soon as it happens, like right after we've had that kind of a conversation, a really meaningful conversation that we know we've made progress and we've made an impact. You go right to the notepad and you write it down. Don't wait till the end of the night, because then you're trying to figure it out. Trying to figure out how many people and who's that? Is that Emily? Hey, what's up? Good to see you. So Emily, Martha, and Brandy are all in the same place. um. So yeah, what else? I think I covered everything pretty quickly, actually. Those are the new additions to the list. Oh, okay. Let me go back to. I just Those are the new additions, the stuff we covered last Wednesday. Let me go back to the actual bullet points here. So filming and doing live streams during it's becoming an issue. I mentioned it earlier. If you missed it, just message me. We can talk about it more. Not talking to drunk people and not investing in the argumentative types. I think this is a no-brainer. I think that I've seen so many outreachers just they believe that what they're doing is good and they're planting seeds, but I'm seeing like the inebriated state of the person, and I feel like it's a waste of time to spend more than 15, 20 minutes on a person that's just, sometimes they're just trying to talk to you. Sometimes they just want to have somebody to talk to. Um, it could be like some crazy person. It could be somebody that just came out of the bar and they think that they're smart and they want to try and like prove themselves. They want you to prove them wrong. It's all about just being cognizant and aware of the mental and emotional state of the bystander, of the person you're talking to. Like, AV is designed to filter in those people who are definitely interested, who are emotionally moved, and we're only supposed to talk to the people who you can visibly see that it's having an effect on them. And it doesn't mean you can't, like, maybe give some materials to someone else, but the point is, our main focus should be on the quality of the conversations, not the quantity of people you talk to. It's not about talking to everybody. It's about talking to people who are open and receptive and who are already moving in that direction. Um, Passing out too many cards. This was an issue that happened. We lost like so many cards last time. I think there were some new people who just, before they even had a conversation, they were just like handing cards out. That's unacceptable. Like the cards are there as a closing, like to close the deal. You give the card to the person when you know that they are serious and they're gonna look into it, and they're gonna follow up, and because the website has all the resources and stuff. So the cards are only to be given to people who are taking it seriously, and or who are showing great interest, not just everybody. It's not like leafleting and passing out flyers. Not the same thing. It's just a different kind of activism. That it's all about the conversation and pointing people to the resources. What actually counts as a conversion? Well, I already read that description below. I was going to do the screen share and show the aesthetic, the AV aesthetic in Europe, but I could just talk about it a little bit because I did this last Wednesday. Essentially, everyone should be wearing black. Everyone should be wearing all black, like no exceptions. If you don't have a black shirt, if you don't have a black hoodie, please go buy one or ask me and I'll provide one. But the point is, like, that is like part of the structure and the aesthetic of AV, is that we wear all black. It would create a professional, evocative look. It also helps me because I can easily, as I'm scanning, I can easily find outreachers and people who are with us and grab them when I need to, because if you're wearing regular clothes, regular attire, I'll mistake you for a bystander. So the all black helps me to find other fellow members, and also it creates that visual aesthetic. It's very evocative with the Guy Fawkes mask when you're in the cube. It's just really important that everybody wears all black. And the point is, I'm gonna just like post some photos from like Europe and show you guys like chapters with like 50 people, and they just look so badass, and they're all wearing black, and it's very cool, it's very edgy. That's what I want. I'm not saying that anybody here is like not cool enough, but I'm saying that like we're supposed to kind of look cool when we're doing it, and that helps the whole process. And so I'm just saying that people come sometimes wearing striped shirts, they come sometimes wearing different colored stuff, or they come and I have to give them hoodies and sweatshirts and t-shirts, and that's just maybe in the beginning, that's no problem, but at this point, we're all seasoned activists. We should be investing in this and making it a priority. I mean, it's a very simple thing, just wear all black. Um, Require everyone to read the guidelines. It's very important. Any new person, anybody new to AV, and older veterans, I would like you to go back and just read the guidelines. It'll take you less than 5 minutes to read. It's pinned at the top of the timeline, and if you could, I would like you to read the manual itself, because it goes into more detail. The guidelines are kind of a summarized, truncated version of the manual. But read the guidelines. That's imperative for anyone participating in AV, and it's right there at the top of the timeline. It's also embedded in the link in one of the files that are now in on the page. Share the AV manual. Require everyone to read it. Same thing. I just talked about that. Okay, and then there's two more things that I wanted to get into that is more of a discussion kind of topic thing that I'd like to have more of a back and forth exchange, and it has to do with talking to meat eaters, talking to non-vegans, and the psychology involved, like what's going on in their heads, what's going on in our heads. It's very important. I don't think there has ever been enough time and attention given to this aspect of what we do. And some of us, it comes naturally. It's just very intuitive, and others struggle a little bit with it, and they may have some social anxiety issues, and it's not as easy for them. Um, Along the same lines, why are we having to contend with the same list of excuses over and over and over and over again? And that pretty much sums it up. So I'd like to just talk about those two things with you guys, um, if you're ready. And I think some of you should know what I mean. Like the same list of excuses. Basically, those resources, those links to those websites, they list them all, and they give refutations and ways to sort of to combat those justifications and excuses, and the factual information, like to to be able to stand your ground when people are sort of attacking you, and coming up with all these justifications. It's defense mechanisms, cognitive distortions, logical fallacies, you know, false equivalence, analogies. It just goes on and on and on and on. If you know anything about psychology, like you just see the psychology at work in this, and I just think it's important that we really like talk about that and address that. I want This is my goal. I want to equip you guys to be ready and prepared to answer any question, to be confident, and never feel like, essentially, like whatever people throw at you, it should be something you're familiar with already, and it should be something you've already heard before. I've heard all of these excuses before, every single one. I have never had a person say something to me on the street that I haven't heard like a million times before, and it's so. I mean, frankly, it's so tiring. It's so taxing. It's one of the things I really dislike talking to the public, but this is what I want to do. I want everybody to have all the information and knowledge and be equipped to be able to answer them like no problems, and do it um in a very civil and polite, but confident way, where we never um we never let them literally get the best of us. Like, even if they think they've won the argument, we've planted seeds, and we've some level. That's how I want it to be. So I want to train and equip and prepare the outreachers in this group to just be able to handle anything. That's my goal. So that's what I'd like to talk about. So you can turn your mics on now, and we can address it, talk about it. And if you have any questions, go ahead and let's hear it. Anybody? Anybody? No questions? Nothing to say. Martha? Melissa? Now you're making me feel awkward. Come on. Let me hear some kind of feedback. Are the mics broken? What's going on? Alexis? Come on, say something.
I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to say. I'm just listening.
You're not supposed to say anything, but just I just want to make sure the tech is working all right, and we're not having any technical problems. Any questions? Do you have any questions at all?
I did have a question. So you're talking about all the fallacies and stuff. This is stuff that you've got links to. You said it's all. I saw one of the refutes documents.
Yeah, some really good stuff in there.
Yeah, so I have to read through them all still, but I'm probably familiar with most of them just through my own research in the past.
Yeah, they really don't seem to be able to come up with anything new. It's fascinating because I'm trying to understand why those are the go-to things, like but we have canines, but eating meat allowed our brains to grow, but lions, but plants have feelings too, what about the Eskimos, what about the Native Americans, you can't get everything you need from a plant-based diet. Just go down the list. I mean, I have a funny list in my next book that I'm working on right now that I'm putting out about veganism and animal rights activism, and I just went down the list, and there's like 50 of them, and it's so true. It's almost like I want to have like a sign that's like there that they can just read and be like, okay, let me just go ahead and read all these, and let's just get this out of the way because I know you're going to say one of these things, and I want to be able to avoid like us having to repeat ourselves continuously, having to explain and refute the same tired arguments again and again and again. I feel like there's got to be a better way that we can sort of circumnavigate those justifications and those excuses. So that's what I'd like to talk about, but I'll take you off so you're not on the spot anymore here. Bjorg, you have anything you want to say? Anything? She's MIA.
This is Melissa. I'll say that one thing I to think about is everybody we talk to is a new. Every single.
You're breaking up a little bit.
Talking to,
go ahead.
Every single person that we talk to is a new person. They may have never had the conversation before with anybody. So we have to treat every person as a complete individual with a completely different story from whoever we've talked to before.
This is true. Yeah, this is true.
We may have to have the same responses every time or have those conversations with every single person because this could be the first time they've ever encountered, anybody vegan, So I think we need to keep in mind everybody is individual. So
I agree. No, I agree. I agree with you. I agree. But at the same time, I think what I'm trying to say is I feel like there is a more effective, more expedient way, as opposed to having to explain the same things over and over and over. I feel like there's a better, easier, more efficient way for us to do it. That makes sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, of course, everyone's different. Of course, they haven't had these discussions a million times like we have. They haven't heard all the other excuses, and they haven't heard all the other people who are making the excuses. They always think that they're somehow telling us something new. And what I'm saying is, what is it that makes them go to those excuses immediately? That's the point. What is it exactly in their psychology, in the psychology of a carnist mindset, that causes them to immediately go to one of those justifications, those excuses and rationalizations? That's what I really want to get to. Cindy, do you have any comments?
Well, I do have a friend who's not vegan, and he's like not really supportive of it.
Yeah, that's that's how it is. That's like so you're trying to figure out. I'm hearing an echo. Could somebody mute their mic? I mean, it shouldn't be used because you have earbuds on. But
yeah.
Are you asking like how
how
to
can
speak
I
to them?
start a conversation with him? Yeah.
Oh, there's many ways. There's so many ways.
Yeah, cause like he was telling me how like I go protest for how I go like bear witness and stuff, and he would tell me he will never go to one of those because he will get hungry just seeing the cows.
Yeah, he sounds like a person that is not yet considered the brutality, the pain, the cruelty. They've not experienced it personally, of course.
Yeah.
He's just talking out of his ass, basically. He's just saying things because if the violence and the abuse and the slaughter was right in front of him, I think he would have a completely different attitude about it.
Yeah,
I'm still hearing a really bad echo. Can you hit mute for a second? I'll just see if it's you. Testing. Yeah, I think it's yours. It's there's like a reverb for some reason. Okay, so yeah, we can talk about this. We can talk about it now, or we can talk about it later. You can message me, and we can talk about specific things to do. In terms of how to sort of communicate that information with him. I would say just start watching some documentaries with him. Be like, I'd like you to see this. This is really important to me. It just depends on the relationship you have with him. This is a friend or a family member?
He's like a family friend.
Family friend, okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's about like exposure to the information. That's it. That's what did it for all of us, I believe. On some level, exposure to the information through documentaries, through books, through speaking to friends. Somehow, that's what actually motivated us to go vegan, to become more aware of our food choices and our choices as a consumer. So that's what you have to do. You have to remember that like a person that's talking to you like that is just literally exposed to certain sets of information, and you've been exposed to different sets of information, and like it's not necessarily you against him. It's that awareness just isn't there. So whatever it takes, I would say get him to watch Earthlings, get him to watch any of these documentaries, and depending on where his focus is, what his priority is, whether it's health, environment, or ethically. Obviously, he would not treat a cat or a dog or a horse or a dolphin, the pretty dolphin. Everybody loves the cetaceans, the dolphins and whales that we pay money to see perform and entertain us, and we would not treat them that way. But yet, that's how fishermen treat other fish that are caught. That's how they treat dolphins and whales and sea turtles that are caught. And there's no awareness of that there. So you got to kind of bridge the gap, help them connect the dots, and say a cow, a chicken, a pig, a horse, a dolphin, a sheep, a turkey. They all experience pain. They all can experience joy. Like we're all animals, and we're the same in all the ways that are important. So help him make those connections. I mean, he sounds kind of childish, immature. That's probably part of it too. As you get older, you start to prioritize, realize what's important to you, and start making more ethical decisions. But there's no reason, because obviously, I keep saying the same point. He's not treating dogs and cats that way. And if he was, he would get arrested. He would get jail time for it. And there's a reason for that. It's because in our culture, it's unacceptable to treat domesticated animals this way, but it's perfectly acceptable to treat farm animals this way, and that's the point. Why is there that inconsistency, that selective compassion? So we're trying to help people kind of realize how inconsistent, our values are in this culture. Does that help?
Hey, Pafo.
Yeah.
Were you talking about the approach?
Just now we were talking about how to speak to a person in her life.
I mean, right before that, were you talking about the approach? When we approach people, and in the beginning, was that what you were talking about?
Yeah, and also not ganging up on bystanders.
Okay.
Not having more than one outreacher at a time speaking to the public. Is it switching back and forth? Because my screen is like stuck right now. Like, are you guys seeing every time someone talks, does it switch? No?
It's laggy, I think.
Yeah, I gotta fix that.
I just see you, Pafo, but I mean, it depends on who.
Like
I scroll on and click on.
I know, like right now, every time you talk, it should switch to you. That's not for me. It's not.
No, it's just whoever if somebody's talking, I'll click on them, but it's whoever I click on. It doesn't automatically do it.
Yeah, that's so hokey. I hate that. Do you want to say something, Alexis?
It sometimes switches for me, and sometimes it doesn't. That's all I was gonna say.
Yeah, I don't know how to fix that. Okay, Giovanni, did you want to add anything, or you have any questions? I know your speaker's not working, so just type something in the chat on the side if you have something you want to say. We'll just wait for him. And Martha, Brandy, Emily, did you want to add anything, or did you have any questions, or did you want to talk about anything about what we were discussing, the psychology involved? We good? Okay. Melissa, anything you want to add? You there? I feel like an old man, like trying to learn how to use the computer. Can you hear me?
Yep.
You know when older people are like messing with it and they can't figure it out. Is that like lag? And, culture lag, really. Tough crowd. Come on, guys.
What are we talking about?
I was just asking, did you have any comments on what I've been talking about? And did you want to talk about the psychology of when we're speaking to people, like why it is that they have these go-tos that they continuously resort to? It's really taxing, and I just feel like there's got to be a better way, and I'd like to understand it more, and I'd like for all of us to understand it more and figure out how we can sort of circumnavigate those defense mechanisms.
Well, wouldn't that depend on the person and the individuality of the person? Because there's a lot of reasons for each approach of a person. Because one may be pride, one may be culture, etc. I mean, wouldn't
it's all those things. It is all those things. It's because they don't have knowledge of this stuff. But why same excuses over and over and over? I would say, yeah, it depends on the person, but yet it's the exact same excuses every single time. It's almost like there's somewhere there's this like cult, there's this little community that everybody's a part of, and they're like, okay, this is what you're supposed to think about this is what you're supposed to think about that. Now, if this ever comes up, like they're already programmed, like if this ever comes up, this is what you're supposed to say. And then everybody does it. Everybody has those go-to. I'm going to read them to you right now.
Well, it's like nature, well, like when we're conditioned naturally, like most people don't want to be told what to do in their life or how to eat, especially how to eat. People are super sensitive to food.
Yeah,
so naturally, the way we respond psychologically, we put a defense mechanism up when they feel that they're being forced or being told what
hold on, stop right there. They feel like they're being forced. They should not feel like they're being forced. We have to analyze why they're feeling like they're being forced, why they're feeling like they're being attacked, why they feel like they're already why they feel like they already need to be on the defense. That's the point. See, like you just said it. Why do they feel like why do they feel like this is being imposed on them when we're literally just sharing information?
We don't even have to say anything. People walk by and look at our screens and they laugh, and you can see inside they already put that block up and they're already offended. And that's why a lot of people, when they look at the screens and they look at the torture, they have this like laugh, but you can see the embarrassment of their own self.
You think it's
embarrassment,
like they're using humor? They're using humor to kind of cope with the cognitive dissonance that they're
because
feeling?
they know they're guilty inside. You can see it. You can look right at them and see like, oh, ha ha ha, you know,
Yeah.
they're guilty inside, and then they just look and ha ha and then walk away. So before we even say anything, you know, people already put blocks up.
It's such a strange thing because it's hard for me to relate to that because, like, at every stage in my life, as I was exposed to this information, I acted on it. Like, it changed me, and I made changes in my life, you know, to align myself with the new and emergent information I was experiencing. I do remember watching pig videos and stuff and saying pigs are so cute, but I never saw like really horrible footage of them thumping the baby the runt piglets or the castration without anesthesia, the cutting off the tails, the grinding down of the teeth. I never saw any of that stuff. I just kind of saw pictures of piglets running around, and then I just kind of knew I eat bacon, I eat pork at times, but I feel bad for the pigs. But as soon as I saw the footage of them having their throats cut, of being stabbed in the neck with a knife, being strung up, of being shocked with the tongs, you know, being stunned, or the bolt gun to the head, I just had the natural response was there. So it's hard for me to understand what it is they're clinging to, you know, that they can't just have a natural human reaction to it.
Because to some people it's normal. Like back when I used to kill and clean fish, when I worked in a fish market, you know, those were not, you know, you desensitized. And being that I have killed animals in the past, you know, since I was young, you know, you desensitize it, you make it normal. If, you know, I could have watched those videos, and just because I've desensitized, I'm not really seeing it. I'm watching it, but I'm not really seeing it. It is not until I decided to, you know, open up and be real about what's really going on in the video. You know, I could see the same video in a different perspective, and that's when I actually truly seen it. But way back when I killed and cleaned fish, you know, you know, in no way I could ever do that again. But when I was younger, it wasn't a fish. It wasn't, you know, it was this thing. It's like, you know, I have a friend who is vegan, and she has a dog that she always says, shut up to. And, you know, and here is this, to me, you know, there's a dog that's barking, but it's talking. And I don't think people even get, like, you know, when they always hear dogs, like, oh man, that dog's making so much noise, I just wish it would shut up. And, you know, this dog is talking, and, you know, I'm like, well, how would you like it if somebody just told you to shut up? You know, when you talk, you wouldn't like it, because we get so conditioned in life that this dog is really not talking, it's just making noise because we don't understand it. And it's really just conditioning, because we're so used to, like, when we grow up and we hear parents or family members or other adults, you know, just like, oh, the dog's barking, or it's making noise. No, the dog is barking because it's telling you something, or it's using its vocal cords because it has its right to, as we do. It's you know, it's perspective and different perceptions of when we were conditioned. You know, just same as like when I killed fish, it was a thing. It wasn't a live thing. Right. I clearly seen it moving, flapping around. I removed the guts, you know, and I dismembered it, and but it was normal. And right. You know, some people
we're up against
psycho.
What we're up against is cultural conditioning. We're having to literally deprogram people who have been desensitized in certain areas and helping them reconnect with their own sense of empathy and compassion which they have towards some sentient beings, but not toward others. Thanks for joining us. I'm about to read the list. I'm going to go on the list, and you guys just let me know if you've ever heard these before, okay? I can never go vegan. It's part of my culture and family tradition to eat meat. Vegans are just too pushy. We have to hunt and kill them to keep the population down. Fish don't feel pain. I have Crohn's disease. I have a gluten allergy. If I don't eat meat, I won't have anything else to eat. Being vegan is a privilege. Eating vegan is too expensive. What if you're on a desert island with no food except some pigs? If we let the animals go, they'll have a horrible life. Everything dies. It's the law of nature, cycle of life. If we don't kill them, these animals will breed, multiply, and overrun the world. What about owning pets? Humans are omnivores. We have canines. Lions kill zebras. Animals are put here for us to eat. It says so in the Bible. Meat is tasty. But I love bacon. You'll never get the whole world to go vegan, so you might as well give up. I'm against factory farming, but as long as the animal has a quick death. I only buy humanely raised, free-range, grass-fed, organic beef. I believe in humanely slaughtered meat. Our ancestors ate meat. Life feeds on life. Eating meat helped our brains grow. We need dairy for calcium. We need meat for protein. What about the Native Americans? What about the Eskimos? Veganism isn't for everybody. I have a certain blood type. I tried it once and I got sick. I knew someone who knew someone who knew someone else who had a friend who got sick when they tried to go on a vegan diet. They were anemic. Humans need to eat meat in order to survive. Everyone everywhere can't be vegan. I think vegans are sanctimonious and self-serving. I think vegans are on a moral superiority trip. Why don't you care about humans? Why don't you worry about the problems that are going on in our world and human societies? Why you care so much about animals? Plants have feelings too. Now, how many of you guys have heard those before? Raise your hand. I hear these things and more, like, it's got to be at least 100 times a day. I hear them every time I'm on the street doing street activism with AV. I hear the exact same excuses, rationalizations, and justifications. I want to know, is there an easier way to combat all of these excuses, all of these ridiculous go-to responses and defenses? Is there a way to circumnavigate that and understand the deeper psychology involved of why these are their go-to responses and what we can say without having to continuously say plants have no central nervous system, they don't have brains, they don't have nerve receptors, they don't feel pain the way an animal does. We're not speaking to Native Americans, we're not speaking to Eskimos, we're speaking to you. Vegan food is the cheapest food there is, you know, rice and beans and potatoes and corn and peas and carrots and cabbage. These are the, you know, fruits and vegetables. These are the cheapest foods available right now. Being vegan doesn't just mean meat alternatives. Plant-based milks are healthier. All these different things. All we do is spend time explaining the same, you know, refuting and explaining the same excuses and rationalizations over and over and over. And Melissa, are you honestly telling me that that's what we're there to do? To keep repeating ourselves over and over and over? Don't you think there's got to be a way that we can understand where they're going with it and not even let it get to that point? Because it's really just a diversion. It's a distraction and a diversion technique. It's kind of like evading the issue, sometimes pointing a finger back at us. You know, well, vegans kill things too. You know, you can't be 100% vegan because you kill microorganisms and bacteria. Growing plants kills field mice. So what's the point? I might as well just slit this pig's throat because field mice might die when we're growing crops. You know, like instead of having to explain like the statistical realities and the facts and all this stuff, I don't think that we're having a rational conversation with people. I don't think that we're having it. I don't think that they are literally researching this stuff and they're coming at you with facts. They're coming at you with what is in their mind, justifications, like morally justifiable excuses. So I want to get to the underlying factors here, and then bypass it, because that's literally all we're doing, wasting time educating people on things that they would understand themselves if they stopped and thought about it for 10 minutes instead of just trying to defend themselves. That's the point. Why are they already on the defense? Because we know that all these excuses can be dismantled. Why are they already on the defense? We need to be able to communicate with them in a way where we make progress, where we break through all of that exterior, that exterior wall that they're putting up, that we have to continuously break down. And it's not just that like I'm tired of doing it. It's ridiculously tedious. It's that I think that there's got to be a more efficient way. So what do you guys think? Have at it.
So there's like a difference. There's like two different kinds of responses, I think. There's like the slippery slopes, the fallacies, well, we're going to kill mice, so we might as well kill everybody. But then there's just statements that they're untrue statements because of lack of information. Like, where do you get your protein? You won't get enough protein. And so I guess I'm confused because, if we just don't interact with the people that are making really ridiculous fallacies, but some of these questions are like statements, yeah, they happen over and over again, but it's because they don't actually know. So they're, in a way, they're actually questions.
No, it's true. I mean? I have never not spoken to anyone that have had these questions or justifications. I've never not spoken to them. We speak to them every single day, every time, every weekend. Like, I would never not answer them. I would never not point them in the right direction. But what I'm saying is, like, yeah, some of it is cultural conditioning, misinformation, that we don't need dairy for calcium, that we don't need meat for protein. That's fair enough. But the rest of it, since they're the same excuses over and over and over, I feel like there's a deeper psychology at work here, where they're just literally, it's the go-to thing because it's what they've heard, it's what someone else has heard. And like, why are they defending themselves? Why are they trying to justify something? Like, if they say to me, but I love the taste of bacon, but I just love meat too much. That's kind of an asshole answer. It's kind of a shitty thing to say, but I could also say, I like the taste of meat. I can honestly probably say I would still like the taste of meat, ribs, barbecue, whatever, grilled fish. I can honestly say I like the taste of bacon. That has no bearing whatsoever on the fact that I'm making an ethical decision, a choice to not consume bacon anymore. So you could say to them, as I'm trying to say, you can relate, and you could say, I like the taste of bacon too, but I think this animal's life, I care more about pigs than my taste buds, than palate pleasure. So all I'm saying, and I'm not trying to make you feel bad, it's like, say, I'm not trying to put you down, but I'm saying I have been exposed to information that makes me aware that these animals are going through tremendous suffering, and it's unnecessary, it's unnatural, and there's nothing normal about it. So I can agree with you. I liked the taste of bacon, but I can make tofu or eggplant bacon or any kind of veggie bacon, and I can like season it with agave syrup, maple syrup, and cinnamon, and it tastes the same. So you don't have to lose that taste. And why are we talking about taste anyway when we're talking about the confinement, the imprisonment, the enslavement, the torture and abuse of a living conscious being? That's what I'd like to get back to. So see what I'm trying to say is, like, there's some answers that you can easily refute. There's some answers that you can actually agree with. But I think the problem is we end up getting locked into these word games. We end up getting sucked in to all their defenses, to their diversion tactics. And that's what I want to try to avoid. Does that make sense?
Hey, Pafo.
Yeah.
So for the medical part, like when somebody says I'm anemic or they need to be on meat because of what their doctor says, that's kind of just it. They're going to listen to their doctor than some stranger wearing all black
Sure.
and a mask. I mean, who do you think they're going to really take the word for?
We have this problem with appeal to authority And yeah, that we need authority figures that we can point to and say, no, there are a slew of other doctors who are saying the exact opposite. I would say fire your doctor. Honestly, they only get 7 hours of training in nutrition, and there is nothing that you're going to get from meat, eggs, or dairy that you can't derive naturally and in a more healthy, direct form from the plant kingdom. Like, you're filtering your vital nutrients and amino acids and proteins and carbohydrates through a tortured animal's body. Just think about that. That's what I would say. Something to that effect.
But I think we can say that, and that's all good, but I don't think they're really going to listen. I think if you had the hardcore literature, like the facts on paper, where it says a doctor or a nutritionist has provided, this is kind of the way people are conditioned. They want to see facts. They want to see it from somebody who is, quote unquote, a professional. And then all of a sudden they will listen. I just think if you had more literature, like
I agree with what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying, but in truth, it never even goes that far. We don't even get people who are that highly intelligent or that invested in it. It's generally people that don't know anything about it, or they're arguing with us about it. But those kind of people you'll find more at like PCU at during the farmers market. We do the Saturday mornings there at that location. You'll find more of those people there for sure. And I agree. I want to have cards that have all of those, the links to all those documentaries and stuff, just on hand to access for free. I want to have somebody to print up these cards that have easy access to What the Health, Cowspiracy, Earthlings, and nutritionfacts.org. I mean, that's actually on the AV site. Like, we really need to, I'd like to make this point. I was saying don't just throw away cards all the time, but we really need to stress the fact that the AV website, how many of you have actually explored the AV website? The AV website actually has a whole plethora of resources and stuff that to access, like must see, must watch resources, like support. It actually is like a one-stop shop for all this stuff. I mean, they haven't updated in a while, and they could have more stuff there, but they have a good amount of information readily available. So I think people need to focus more on pointing them to the resources. It's along the same lines of what you're saying, Bjorg. And I would like to have cards with links and stuff, or literature with immediate links. They can go home, they can just punch in the website, and there it is. I agree. Yeah.
I mean, like, some people right off the back, oh, well, I'm anemic. So, pick up the literature. Boom. Well, here you go. Even though you may not even be able to discuss the animal cruelty part of it, if you could at least discuss what their block is, and their block is automatically health. So just going through health, and then once you can get to the point of their health, you're knocking that block down, and then maybe later on they can be introduced to the the animal cruelty part. But automatically they're like, boom, it's health, it's anemia, or whatever it may be.
Can I ask you guys a question? I don't want to interrupt you. Sorry, something else you're gonna say, or I was just gonna say, if eating animals wasn't bad for you, if it was good for you, if all the statistics and scientific and biological nutritional information said that it's great for you, your body needs it, this is an important question. Would you still be vegan? Would you not still be vegan for the sake of the animals? Like, if eating animals was good for us, it was good for the environment, it was good for our health, would it be harder or easier to be vegan?
Can you say that again?
I'm saying that if eating animals was good for us and it was good for the environment, and you knew that it was good for you, but you had given it up for the sake of the animals, and you found out, oh, the science is all wrong, eating animals is really, really good for us and we need to eat animals, would you go back to paying for other people to torture and mutilate and exploit animals? Yes or no? 3, 2, 1. No answer. Okay. I'm trying to say.
I'm typing.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see it. It says no. I'm trying to say, Giovanni, send Jamie the link. Go ahead and send Jamie the link. I see your message there. All you have to do is go up to the top of the screen. It says invite people. Click on that. I'll put the link in the messenger right now. Just share that link. I'm saying that the health thing is an excuse. I'll say it right now. It's an excuse because when it really comes down to it, it's because they're not aware, they're not cognizant of what the animals are suffering. Make them aware of what the animals are suffering, and most people, this is crazy coming from me because most people would do the right thing. They would do the right thing if they were exposed to it. This is what I'm trying to say. That it's not that the health things are stopping them. It's that the health things are just an excuse because they don't know enough about what's going on, and they're just pulling things out of their ass. And I've sat there and argued with people who've gone from one chronic disease to another, to another, to another. I think this woman had 7 different diseases, 7 different excuses why she couldn't go vegan. And after a while I was like you might have a half a symptom of one of those illnesses, okay, but you definitely don't have all of these illnesses. You're literally just making stuff up right now because your friend has this illness or something, and this is, you're saying this because either you're not aware of what's going on, or you don't want to take responsibility for your actions, or you're just a self-centered person who doesn't want to make any changes. But again, I think that goes back to not being aware of the inherent cruelty and violence involved in animal agriculture. I'm saying, again, what we're doing right now, this is what we do out on the street. I'm saying this is the diversion. I don't think it's about all the things that they make it about. That's my point. I think it's much simpler. I think it could be much, much simpler. I think we get caught up in this pseudo-intellectual discussion with people. Why is it when the subject of veganism comes up, everyone automatically becomes a nutritionist? Everyone automatically is worried about your health. Everyone automatically, is an anthropologist, and they've studied archaeology, and they know everything about early man and early hominid diets. And all of a sudden, everybody is a plant advocate, and everybody wants to protect cucumbers and tomatoes and broccoli, and now they care so much about vegetation and plants. They don't care about vegetation and plants. It's just an excuse. That's the point. It's in their minds, it's a rationalization that makes sense to them that they may have heard somewhere else, and it just becomes an excuse. Why are we contending with excuses? We should talk about the things that they know deep inside are wrong. They already know that it's wrong. They already know that there's no protocol for a fireman to go back into a burning building and rescue the petunias and rescue the flowers and the plants. But there's a protocol to rescue pets and dogs and cats. They already know that there's a strong line. There's a delineation between plant life and animal life. They already know this. So why are we talking about it and giving them credibility when they're trying to discredit our message? That's my point. Anybody?
Well, I think that some people truly believe in that the slaughter is okay. I mean, just coming from the culture, it's embedded so deep that
right.
You're trained to overlook it, and you're trained to desensitize.
If they think that it's necessary, if they still think in their mind that it's necessary, as soon as you eliminate the need for it, then it's like, well, then why are we doing it? They only believe in humane slaughter because they think that they need to. They think that there's nothing we can do about it. It's an appeal to futility. There's nothing that we can do. It's never going to change. So we're up against too much. This is just the way the world works. If they recognize the power and the momentum of the vegan movement, if they recognize how influential it is and how many people's lives are changing right now, how the world is changing right now, if they understand how unnecessary it is, how harmful it is to the environment, how harmful it is to their bodies, then that humane slaughter bullshit, it just goes out the window. Because it's like saying you can either be healthy and not contribute to cruelty and suffering and pain and misery and torture and violence and destruction of the environment, or not. And there's nothing on this side that is required that you need, for optimal health. There's nothing that's required, and literally you're losing nothing. Why wouldn't you make the sane and ethical choice? And that's what I'm trying to say is we're too caught up, and we've given too much focus and attention to their arguments instead of making our point.
Well, just with people I know, honestly, they don't give a fuck about any of that. But there is, because they're selfish. But there is one thing that they would care about in itself. So if it's health, if they care, that if that's what they care about because they're selfish and they care about their health, I think that's the point you need to go with first, because
my friend Gaius was saying the same thing. He's saying that a lot of people generally don't care about animals. They're self-centered, they're selfish, but they will care with regards to their own health. And if you can point out that it's damaging to their body, that is a more effective route to take. I agree and I disagree, because if you get someone to go vegan for their health, they're just plant-based. That means they're not going to stick with it, because people do things that are bad for their health all the time. They smoke cigarettes, they overindulge, they become alcoholics, they do drugs, they do all kinds of things that goes against common sense and rational thought. So I think it's the wrong approach. And actually, AV and Paul and Asal and the founders make it a point to say, always bring it back to the ethical point. You can talk about the health, you can talk about the nutrition, talk about the environment, talk about all of it, but always make the point, because if they're not going vegan for the animals, if they're not going vegan for ethical reasons, they're not going to stay vegan, and it's just not going to stick. I know that it wouldn't stick for me. If this was about a diet for me, if this was just I've tried other different diets in the past. I've tried all these different things. It never stuck. I never had the self-discipline. I never had the intestinal fortitude, I don't know, to maintain and even to like exercise, really, like work out and stuff like that. Like I'll go hiking, I'll do outdoor activities, but not like work out at a gym. I don't have that kind of discipline. I have a different kind of discipline with my mind and my art and my writing. But my point is that, like, if it was just for me, if it was just for my health, I wouldn't be able to do it. I've gone vegan and I stay vegan because I know that this isn't about me, that none of this is about me. It's for the animals, it's for the environment, and the health benefits are just an added bonus to that. So what I'm trying to say is, you're saying use their own selfishness as a platform to get them to embrace veganism. And on a certain level, I agree, because it's almost like, I don't care why you went vegan as long as you go vegan, and then maybe you'll, like James Aspie, you'll learn more about the ethical aspects of it later on, and then it'll resonate with you and it'll be more enduring. But I'm saying that, like, yeah, it's good, whatever reason that made them go vegan, but if you really want to create ethical vegans who become activists, we have to focus on what the animals are enduring, what they're going through.
Well, Papa, it is a platform. It doesn't mean that you're just going to leave it at that. Some people get overwhelmed where you're throwing out, well, it's good for this, and don't forget the animals. If they don't give a fuck about the animals, they're not going to hear you regardless. They have a block up. They're just going to walk away, and then they're going to be overstimulated. But if you can at least grab them with something, because they're self-centered, if you could grab them with something with self that could open up to, oh, you have one little door that's open to something that's good. And then you could build on that as something gradual. Some people just get overstimulated when it becomes a whole. And if you're throwing in a lot of factors, like if they have a lot of pride and they don't care about animals, and you're throwing in this and that, and even people get scared with the word vegan because they have all these misconstrued ideas of what a vegan is or what veganism is.
I always say save the V word to the very end. Like, we're not selling veganism. Like, we're talking about cruelty and injustice and being more compassionate. we're talking about what veganism is, but veganism is the natural response to the awareness of the information that we're sharing. That's it. Like save the V word for the end and say, oh, because people said it, they're like, what can we do? Like it's terrible. I don't agree with it. And it's like, then you can say you can do this, this, and this. And then this is the natural response to that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I agree. And I was going to say to the other point, like what you're saying just goes along with being able to organically, intuitively feel out the situation, like to know who you're talking to know where they're at, sort of mentally and emotionally, and just kind of meet them wherever they are. So, you know, use whatever methods, whatever approach, whatever angle you can.
Because you can go further if that person is willing and accepted, but if you start seeing that they're throwing those blocks up, you don't want to offend them. You're just going to offend them more if you just keep pushing it. His ghost a pup too. Sorry. You know, and oh, hold on a second. Sorry, I'm having some.
Yeah, I don't really worry too much about who I offend. I'm never rude, but like people are, as you said in the beginning, they're always going to be offended. They're already offended. They already feel like you've got a superiority complex. So, anybody, but I'm never going to shy away from the truth either. And sometimes it's the hard facts, the hard truths, and they actually end up respecting you more later on. I've actually never had someone walk away without shaking my hand, without telling me that they respect what I'm doing, respect my position. And I've never tiptoed around any of the issues. I don't couch my words. I just say exactly, you know, what I feel, the truth. And obviously, you can't do that with everybody, and you can't do that unless you are good with people and you kind of know you have a banter with people. So I think it's about building the kind of repertoire, like building a little bit of a relationship there, building connection, relating, having the association. Yeah, I understand. I was there once myself. You know, we've all been lied to. Yeah, we're not against you. You know, we're against this. It's the big industries, and most people, especially in Portland, are very anti-government, you know, consumerism, capitalism and stuff. So we can take that approach and say, you know, we're in this together. But look, I mean, you know, look at what's going on. Like, let's not pay for this anymore. We don't have to contribute to this. It's unnecessary. So it's all about relating to the person. But at the same time, yeah, I hardly worry about offending anybody because I just tell the truth, and it also kind of comes from being like a preacher. I don't know if you guys know this about me, but like back in the day, I was a youth minister, and I was never worried about the backlash. They kind of train you to think this way in Bible college and stuff as an evangelist. You know, the word of God. You've got God on your side, and you're preaching and teaching the truth. You know, so if you get persecuted, that's just part of the whole package. And so I've just always had that thing that if I know that the truth is on my side, if I know that I'm standing up for what's right, and I'm on the side of justice, like I don't care how it's like take it or leave it. Like, and I'll say that. I'm like, if you don't want to hear what we have to say, if you don't like this, you know, there's a door, walk away. Like, you know, here's some information. If you don't want to take the information, fine, I'll move on to someone else. Like I don't obsess about like reaching every single person. I just kind of, you know, tell it like it is. But I think I do end up affecting and influencing people in the process because I'm not so worried about tiptoeing, walking on eggshells with people. Anybody who knows me, like, they know this about me. So, and there's a lot of advice in there you got to kind of weed through and you know, just take the good advice and use whatever works for you. Do what feels right for you. Jamie wants to join, so let me see if I can get on Facebook for a minute and get her involved. And I can't believe there's not more people here. Anybody else want to chime in? Anything useful or interesting? Any anecdotal stories or contributions you'd like to make? Anybody? All right, I sent Jamie the link, so hopefully. Who else? I don't see anybody else on right now. Do you guys see anybody else online right now that could possibly join us? I mean, we can keep this going, you know, and people can drop off when you need to go, and then new people can join in. I do really long podcasts all the time. I don't have a problem with it. Emily's sleeping. Oh, good job, Emily. You see your level of commitment. She's passed out. I think you guys had a vigil today. Can I get Jamie involved? We need some music or something. You guys are a tough crowd. What's going on over there, Emily? Okay, so you're awake now, Emily? Thank you for gracing us with your presence.
You're very welcome.
Are you, so did you miss all of that, or have you been listening?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah? Brandy, did you want to say
Martha
anything?
kind of filled me in when I got here about what you were talking about earlier, though.
No, I want to watch this. I'm not going anywhere.
As far as like the not butting in and
Right.
the like helping, putting like
I don't know. It was an idea. It was an idea we came up with. I don't know how we can kind of, you know, like do one of those. I don't know. Like, it's just the idea of if an outreacher feels like it's more than they can handle, to a kind of inconspicuous way to notify another outreacher. That's all it is. You know, we could talk about, you know, various ways to do that. Yeah. So you heard all the points. Julianne, did you hear everything? Did you have any questions? And Cindy, chime in sometime so I know that you're still here, because I see your icon, but I don't see you. It's fine if you want to turn your camera off.
I heard everything. I don't particularly have any questions at this time.
Okay, cool.
Well, you were talking about like how you're not afraid of offending people. Like, I personally am very afraid of offending people. Apparently I offended some people at my husband's company camping trip, and I'm like not allowed around his company anymore. So like that's like one of the reasons that
Well, what were you talking about? I mean, what was the topic of the conversation?
Yes, and I honestly don't remember, but I think that alcohol could have been involved. I don't know. But anyway,
well, we don't get drunk during cube demonstrations, so
I'm just saying, like, I don't know, I'm sitting here and I'm hearing your questions, and it's like those are my questions. Like I would want to ask those questions, so like I don't know, I have a lot of trouble with all the stuff that you're bringing up, so I'm just sitting here like I don't know what to say either, you know.
I want to make a point that everyone here, I think, has done excellent work, and we've all worked together, and I think everyone's done an amazing job. Like, these aren't complaints directed towards certain individuals. They're just sort of reoccurring issues and things that I think that we can explore and, you know, sort of deal with, that can improve. It can allow this chapter to improve. Another point actually is
what?
How do I say this in a way that's not misconstrued? I'll just say it. I want people who are putting AV like are making AV their number one priority. Like, they are anonymous to the voiceless, you know, activists. Okay. Like, you guys are amazing, but I also feel that on a certain level, you may be too spread out with too many different different avenues, too many different things. At the same time, I don't want to take away from that, because if you're the only ones doing it here in Portland, then keep doing it. Don't ever stop. But my vision for the group is, what I'm trying to say is, I want people who just do AV and they're just focused on AV, so that they can be like even more effective, you know, doing AV, so that is like their singular focus, if that makes sense. That they are, that's their number one sort of you know, method of advocating for the animals. So I don't know what I'm trying to say, so don't take it wrong. I'm not saying don't do Portland Animal Save, don't do DXC, don't do vigils. I'm saying I want the AV group to be strong on its own and have like its own identity, where like we are a close-knit group that is like, you know, that has a singular focus. This is how it is in Europe. This is how other chapters are. Like, that's literally like their only form of activism. And so what I'm trying to say is, I mean, maybe I shouldn't be talking to you guys. I mean, I appreciate and value everything that you guys do. Maybe I'm saying that I wish we had more people who were just focused and committed on AV alone, so that we can improve this chapter, you know, as it stands on its own. Does that make sense? Because it's been a revolving door of volunteers. You know, we've got a few core members who have always volunteered, but then there's also like there's always new people coming in, and then some of the best people aren't always available, and then it has to do with schedules, and it has to do with people's other obligations and things like that. So all I'm trying to say is I'm not necessarily requiring anything of you guys. I'm just saying I think that Anonymous for the Voiceless chapter should be a close-knit group that is solely focused on that form of activism, so that we can be the best that we can be. You know, obviously, if you're wearing too many hats, if you're pulled in too many different directions, and you're multitasking, it's gonna suffer. You know what I'm saying? It's as opposed to just being focused on one method, one form. So it's not necessarily a critique or criticism to you guys. I'm just saying that, like, what I wish we had was a group that was solely committed to just doing AV. I think that it would be a stronger chapter. I think that I wouldn't have so many problems with the technical issues with the laptops, you know, a lot of things, you know. But again, it's not a criticism directly toward any of you guys. It's just, you know, my vision, my desire for what I think it could be, what it should be. What's up, Noah?
Hey, Pafo. Sorry I was late.
Oh, it's all good, man.
Hey.
Noah's got the best radio voice. Like talking to the microphone, be like, "How's it going? I'm Noah."
How do you do? My name is Noah Church.
He's got that baritone voice, man. I wish I had that voice. I could conquer the world with a voice like that. But yeah, so you got here late, but I think I reiterated a lot of things that we covered on the last meeting. And this is also being recorded, so you'll be able to revisit it. They're having like a slumber party over there.
Sorry.
Cindy, you've been quiet. Did you want to say anything, or you just got your camera off? You're just listening. She's still there.
Slumber party. Like we're like 5 years old.
Anyway, Noah, did you want to talk about anything, or I actually covered pretty much all the points that I initially had, and all the additional topics and issues that we.
Well, obviously, I wasn't here to hear what topics you went over, but if you say you covered everything, then I guess there's nothing left to talk about.
Yeah, well, there's always something to talk about, man. It was something. Go ahead. What?
Well, one thing that you said on Wednesday that I thought was important was just the tone of the overall meeting, like the overall presentation is kind of like a funeral, because this is a memorial to those animals that go through this torturous life and die at the slaughterhouse. And you said that sometimes you hear people just chatting about random topics, which I think is fine. You know, it could also be an event where we get to know each other and get to know what else is going on in the group and talk about how best to do activism, blah, 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 as long as we keep those conversations quiet. and be mindful of the overall presentation.
Exactly. Yeah. I couldn't have said it better myself. Keep those conversations to a minimum, and obviously keep them quiet while we're doing what we're doing. But I mean, you guys know, like I'll joke around, and we'll have like our little banter and stuff. I mean, just because we're friends. But like, what needs to end is the heavy chatting, like the chatting off to the side where it's like it's so loud. I'm having to be louder to the person I'm talking to while I'm doing outreach because somebody next to me is like, yeah. So there's that. So let me go through the list really quick, and if anybody wants to talk about anything, just let me know. So Elizabeth's points were discussed about about speaking to drunk and intoxicated people, about not ganging up on bystanders. Only one person speaking, at a time. A possible signal for outreachers if they're in trouble, if they need to kind of inconspicuously let another volunteer know that they need help. That it's not a social event. Everything that Noah just talked about. Not interrupting during outreach. The cell phone thing, the FaceTime thing, the live streaming, that just needs to be kept to a minimum. Like it's no problem getting photos and getting video, but like when it interferes with outreach, when it becomes a distraction, when it's a constant thing, like it's just unnecessary and it's rude, and it kind of shows that the people they're missing the point of why we're there. Like we're there in the moment to reach those people, in that present moment, not to collect video and photos for social media later on. That's not what we're there for. We're there to make an impact in the present moment with those bystanders that we're talking to. So just keep that in mind. Like it's about the experience itself, not your shares and your likes and your social media later on, or even if you're trying to raise awareness and kind of advertise for AV. That's noble, but it just needs to be done in balance. That's all.
And one other thing I'd add is there's a lot on you when we're doing the cubes. Like you say, you have to run around, you have to pay attention to 10 different things at a time.
Yeah.
And we talk a lot at the beginning of the event about the responsibility of the people in the cube and what they need to do if they need help. But also I think we should talk more about the outreacher's job isn't just to talk to people who stop and watch the videos. It's also to keep an eye on the people in the cube. And that's just not on you. Everyone should be keeping an eye on that.
It's a great point.
Yeah, see if there's any technical difficulties, try to fix that yourself, or find
I've grown so accustomed to doing all that myself that I didn't even think to talk about it in the meeting, but it's a really good point. Hi, Jamie. Welcome.
Hello. Finally made it. Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks. Yeah, no problem. Okay, so she's like like the way like dad, like how dads do it, like they're like this. They're talking to you the whole time.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, what's wrong? Yeah, how's it going? How you doing? My dad does this all the time, and I'm like, move the laptop down so we can see you. All right,
it's funny because I can see myself on there, and it's my full face. You can't see that.
No, you know why? Because there's the row of other members right now at the bottom.
Oh.
I was doing that earlier too. It was kind of like right here.
Oh.
But like it's just because of the other chat members, the other people in the discussion. Okay, so Brandy, Emily, Martha, mute your microphone for just a minute because it keeps toggling back to you. Okay, Noah, that's a great point. I need someone who can just worry about the aesthetic of the cube and the laptops and and again, if we can resolve all the technical issues, I should never have to even touch the laptops or the media players at all. Probably 75 to 80% of the time, having to address issues where the footage stops. Something's going wrong. It's not on autoplay. It's not looping. Something. And if we need to. I mean, I'm telling you right now, I'm not holding Cube again until we get the technical issues straight because I'm not going to waste any more time on that. But I do want to have someone just in case, just to monitor the laptops, just to monitor the media. I also want to have someone, at least 2 people now, to just maintain the aesthetic, and that is going to take someone who actually knows what the aesthetic is supposed to look like. Everyone should be facing forward, looking straight. The signs need to be close to their body. Everyone needs to be just standing stoic and still, and the actual form and structure of the cube needs to be even, uniform, everything homogeneous. And I have a very strong vision of what that looks like in my head. I need somebody else to have that same vision who I can trust and sort of delegate that task to, of just keeping people straight. A lot of times, I mean, it's nobody's fault, but you guys will do this kind of with the laptops, and you can't see what you're doing. You're standing there for 3 hours, so it makes perfect sense. Someone else has to kind of adjust you. So what I'm talking about is I need someone to be like an adjuster, or like someone to just maintain the aesthetic, and someone to just maintain the media, to keep an eye on that. But volunteers may be scarce. The ratio of laptops and cubers to outreachers, people who are comfortable and familiar, to people who are more seasoned, and comfortable, to people who are unfamiliar and who aren't as confident, it's uneven. This is what I'm saying, is we don't really have a consistent core group that attends each and every weekend. It's always kind of it always changes, and that's my point, is if I could have the same few people, like the same 5 people every weekend, that would help with this, so I can actually delegate roles. I can't delegate roles because one day Christopher might be there with the giant flat screen. Another day Amanda might be there with the with the giant speaker, and then another weekend she won't be there. Another weekend he won't be there. One weekend Elizabeth might be there, and I can trust her to do outreach. Another weekend she might not be there. So I'm saying I can't delegate roles until I have a consistent turnout of the same people. So I don't know what this has to do with, if this just comes down to commitment or schedules. Maybe, obviously, this is all volunteer work. We're not getting paid for this. So we all have our commitments and obligations to family and school and work. So I totally understand that, but it is an ongoing issue that, like, there needs to be a consistent, a consistent group of people who show up every weekend, and then it can alleviate some of the burden on me, because honestly, like I just like I'm running around with like a chicken with its head cut off. Sorry, it's a horrible analogy, but that's how I feel. I'm continuously running around. I'm scanning everywhere. I don't even engage with people the way I would like, because I'm focused on so many different things that I can never have a very calm, like, poignant conversation with someone. I'm always looking around. You see me like in videos and stuff. That's what I'm doing, because it's a lot of responsibility. So I'm not complaining. I'm saying it's just practically it's a lot for just one person to handle. So if I could, Martha was saying, that she would like to help me in any way that she could, and I totally appreciate that. I have no complaints whatsoever. There, like it's just. Will she be there for every event? Can I actually have her be the aesthetic manager? You know what I mean? And just focus on that. I don't know. This goes back to like what I'm saying. I can't delegate roles until I have like a commitment, a consistent commitment from everybody.
Well, like you said, I don't think we can realistically rely on everybody being there, or everyone in the core group being there for every single one. But say you set up an event page for a cube that's a week in advance, and you get the early people who commit to being there, and then among those people you can say, I need people for this job and this job and this job. Who's willing to step up for this cube?
Wait, I missed the first part of that. No, but I think that's kind of exactly what I do. But did you say something about creating a group, creating a page?
Just an event page for that specific cube, and then on that page, people who commit
you're saying delegate the roles, and I think that's what Martha was saying before each cube, delegate the roles. I can't even get a hold of you guys like the day of, like when I'm trying to organize stuff. Like it's difficult to. This was the purpose of the group messenger chat, and then everybody like bowed out of it. Everybody's like turned off their notifications. So it's defeating the whole purpose. It's really difficult trying to coordinate so many different people. So to do that, I mean, you know when I hear from everybody, 10 minutes before we start, I have 1,000 messages, like 1,000 PMs coming in. I'm getting texts. I'm getting phone calls while I'm driving. I'm driving, responding to texts. I'm on my way there, and I'm responding to texts. I almost crash a few times because I'm having to give people directions. I'm having to repeat myself about the location, about the time. I'm helping people download the files while I'm on my way to the event. This is unacceptable. This is extremely stressful for me, and it's just unprofessional, and it's inefficient, and it's inconsiderate. Again, I'm not pointing fingers at anybody. This is not, blame game, but you guys know how it is. If you're coming late, if you didn't get the memo, But again, that's why I created the files, because everything we need is in there. Does everybody know that every Cube event that I create, I share on every vegan page, every local vegan page, I share in the AV group, I share it in the group messenger chat. And everything you need to know is actually on the event page. The date, the location, the time, the details, the VLC player to download, all of that, the videos to download, the links, it's all there. It's always been there. But I'm having to share this information and network and communicate with people individually, like with every single event, and it's unfair. It shouldn't be like that. And by now, many of us have volunteered many times. I mean, you guys, Emily, Martha, Brandy, we're doing Cube before I even came here. So I'm saying this stuff should already be established. It's not something we should be discussing or figuring out the day of or during the event. People canceling last minute, people bailing out like 5 minutes before, telling me they can't make it or whatever. If you know that you can't make it, just give me a heads up. I'm never gonna get mad or condemn somebody, or if they have something else going on, if they're not feeling good or they have other obligations. Just, it's your responsibility to let me know ahead of time, so I know how many laptops I have, I know how many volunteers I have. It's extremely difficult trying to coordinate everybody when there's not honest, consistent communication. So, I mean, I think that's reasonable.
Is it usually just first timers who are so inconsistent and reaching out to you, asking questions last minute, or is it people who've done Cube before?
No, it's people who've done Cube before. It's pretty much everybody. It's new people. It's old people. It's pretty much everybody. I don't know how to really explain it. I don't doubt anyone's commitment to animal rights activism or to the cause. I don't doubt their commitment to veganism, to animal rights activism. What's lacking, I think, is a consistent commitment to AV, to Anonymous for the Voiceless. That Anonymous for the Voiceless, as an organization, as an international worldwide organization, as this local chapter, I don't think people take it as seriously as they should. And there's nothing I can really do about that. I can't, crack down. You need to take it seriously. I can't be like the dictator parent or whatever. That's just going to push people away. I wouldn't want to be like that. I also can't complain because they're doing a lot of other altruistic work, So it's just, all I can do is she's saying, "Don't text and drive, fool." I don't even have Bluetooth or anything. I'm literally on my phone. You get $1,000 fine now, I think, in Portland if the cop sees you. But yeah, you're right. I shouldn't do that. It's not safe. So all I'm saying is I don't know. I just want a consistent, core group of people, who've made this a priority, who are taking it seriously. And I don't think that you're not taking it seriously. And I don't think that you're bad activists. I just wish that this chapter was as strong and structured and focused and committed as the other chapters that I've seen in Europe and in other states and stuff. Actually, all the chapters in Europe are hardcore, and they're 100 times more, just more organized and committed and professional than the U.S. chapters. It's just a weird thing that Europe, they've just taken it so much more seriously for some reason. It's not just, I'm not just complaining about Portland. I'm saying it's something that has to do with overseas. You see photos of chapters of other groups overseas. I mean, it started in Australia, so obviously the Aussies are on point because that's where Paul and us all came from. But I'm saying, you see photos of them. Every one of them has an Anonymous for the Voiceless hoodie, Every one of them is wearing all black. Every single one of them, there's like, they have like 50 masks. All the masks look good. They look good. Their form, their structure looks good. They look like a crew. They look like an army. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm trying to build up here. And I think that we're growing, and I think we've made incredible progress. And there's a lot of new people coming in, and a lot of great relationships that are being cultivated. I just want to continue that trajectory. I feel like we had a lot of momentum after the James Aspie weekend. Everybody was fired up about that. That was gigantic turnout. We had too many volunteers, just fangirls basically, and we had to split it up and make two cubes, one across the street and one there near the pod sculpture. And we had a lot of momentum. We had a lot of passion and incentive and drive. And I don't want to say it's necessarily fizzled. Some people have stuck with us. Some people have kind of faded out. I've lost other people over, stupid drama within the group, and it's just I don't know. Like, this is why I've always had like the hikes and the meetups and like the kind of the fellowship things, and I had the party, and I'm always trying to, like, I want everybody to it's not disingenuous. I mean, I'm trying to just build build a community and build bonds, so we can see each other as like family and people who are doing a job together, working together, because we can't do this stuff if we're all at odds and we don't know each other. And I think it's really important that we all know each other, and it's very personable, but not too personable, not so personable that we're literally bringing the drama between us, to the event, or like there's I've already experienced this. Like, I got really close with a lot of members, and then I've had a lot of drama with a lot of members, and it just has to do with people and a lot of emotional issues and things going on with people. So it's like there's got to be you got to walk that line where we keep it professional and personal, but not too personal, and obviously not too serious. And I don't think I've ever, hopefully I've not come off as a dictator or any kind of, like, authoritative Nazi, even though I've been called that. But anyway, like, any contributions, suggestions, or comments you'd like to interject?
So you've held quite a few of these so far, so you probably have an idea of who your core group might be by now, right? Or does it seem like everybody is kind of flaky?
No, I don't. That's the point.
Yeah.
It's a giant community,
mm-hmm.
and sometimes people are committed to AV, and sometimes they're not. I don't have a core group. I have some core people, in terms of their intentions and their ideas and stuff, but they're not always available. Just, due to whatever circumstances in their lives, other obligations, family, work, school. They're just literally, they're there with me in spirit. You know what I mean? I've got a lot of moral support
mm-hmm.
from a lot of people in this group, but I don't have their physical presence all the time. That's part of it. So yeah, it's like yes and no, to answer that question. I don't know. Like, can I think of one person that has been to every event since April? No, there's not one person that's been to every single event. It's always been rotating and revolving.
Mm-hmm.
There's people that have been to a lot of events, that have contributed a lot, but there's never been one person that, like, for a while it was Aman, and then she left, she went off, and now she's busy with work and stuff. For a while it was Emily. For a while it was I feel like Brandy and Martha have probably been the most consistent, because they're always doing something. Brandy, Martha, and Emily are always doing something. Danny is always doing something. Danny has been to many events, but obviously, we Danny has her style and her methods and stuff like that, and sometimes that can be distracting. But at the same time, I could just let her, literally, like, just, I don't have to tell Danny anything. She just, like, is, you just put a quarter in her, she goes, and she'll just talk to everybody, and I never have to worry about it. Like she's always doing activism. Like that's what she does. So I never have to tell her what to do. I have to tell her maybe what not to do, but I don't ever have to tell her what to do. Like she just is a natural communicator. But again, she's not always available. She is traveling a lot. She's busy, you know. So this is what I'm talking about. Like, so you've got a community of really sincere, dutiful people, you know, but I think they're spread out. And so all I'm trying to establish is, you know, a focus and commitment to just this one form of activism. But I don't know how to say that without it sounding like it's limiting.
Realistically, at any given cube, you're expecting maybe 20 people to show up, and most of them will probably be inconsistent members or first timers.
20 people is a good number. I mean, I'm happy with 10.
Yeah, okay. Well, whatever the number is, most of them will probably be inconsistent members. But how many core people, as you say, would you ideally want or need to manage a bunch of people who don't necessarily know exactly what's going on? They're not ready.
Oh, okay. 4 or 5. If I had 4 or 5 people, one person to man the table, one person I know is good on outreach, one person for the aesthetic of the cube, one person to do the tech stuff, to maintain the footage, the media players, one person to just assist me. Is that 4 or 5? I don't know how many I just said, but like that would be ideal. If I just had the same 5 people, then it wouldn't matter if new people are coming and going or whatever. But I never have the same 5. I really didn't want this meeting to be like a, you know, Pafo's, you know, sob story complaining about everything.
No.
I'm not. This isn't me. I wasn't trying to make this like about my complaints. I just wanted to address all these issues. But there is I could definitely use a co-organizer. You know what I mean? They can carry some of the weight. And in potential, Lisbeth is that still in terms of planning and ideas and moral support, but she's not always available physically in person. So I could definitely use just a right-hand person. Let's use non-gender specific language. A right-hand person.
What if you're left-handed, Pafo? What the hell?
I'm right-handed, so I'll just stick with that. I'll just stick with that euphemism analogy. There's no other. Actually, every chapter has that. Every chapter has an organizer and a co-organizer. So that would definitely help.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. You can't be wearing every single hat at each cube. That's just not sustainable.
Anybody? I mean, I don't want to show favoritism, okay? But I want to give people credit where credit is due. Since I've met you, Noah, you've been consistent with everything. With the footage, with your laptops, with your form and structure in the cube, with all of the events and the meetings, every meeting, even if you know what they were going to be about, the cemetery, you've been consistent all the way through, and you've pretty much been to almost every event since I've met you. So like, I have no complaints about you. I just need like 5 more of you. As far as heart and commitment and dedication and passion, Emily and Brandy and Martha have been, you know, they're like their own little trio there. And like I can't complain, you know, because of their dedication to animal rights. But again, they manage and operate another group, Portland Animal Save, and also overlap with DXE and stuff. So I don't necessarily think this is a bad thing, but I need people who can just focus on AV. And I would never in no way exclude you, but I need more people who can just focus on AV. If that makes sense.
Or focus on AV to the point where they can show up to almost every event. Like, they can still do other forms of activism as long as
of course
number one.
Right, but the availability and also in terms of logistics, in terms of the planning and the organizing and the materials and sort of like what's the word, like just organizing this. Like, look up the word logistics, and that's what I need. I need more people who can help me with the definition for logistics: the detailed coordination of a complex operation involving many people, facilities, or supplies. Here are the synonyms: organizing, planning, management, arrangement, administration, orchestration, coordination, execution, running. I'm doing all of that right now. Someone else that can help me with the planning, the running, the execution, the coordination, the orchestration, the arrangement, blah, blah, blah.
And do you need all of you guys. Help? Do you need most of that help at the events or behind the scenes before the events?
Both.
Both.
And all of you guys have done all those things at various times. You've all done those things at various times for me, and you've all done that. I'm always surprised with how helpful everyone is about, oh, do you need help carrying this? Do you the materials, just wrap it up, rubber bands, pack it up. Everybody's like real gung-ho. God, I completely omitted Jocelyn out of this equation. Jocelyn is extremely, extremely valuable to this community, and is always there, and with every CUBE event is extremely helpful, and I never have to worry about her, and she does her outreach, she does everything, and no matter what it is, she is an asset on every level, and everybody knows this about her. But she's not always available. She's not always in town. She's not always there. So that's just what it comes down to. We just need to clone Jocelyn and have like 5 more of her, and I'd have the core group that I want. If I could just get Emily and Martha and Brandy there, for every event, on time for every event, then everything would be rocking and rolling, Mm-hmm. But again, like none of this is anything personal. It's just literally consequences of our lives and different obligations and stuff. But I'm just talking about, if ideally you'd want to know what PAFA wants, what PAFA needs, this is it. What else? Yeah, so that's it. Like, I absolutely appreciate all of you guys and all the support and what we do, and I just think that it can be improved if we can work together, if we have a unified singular vision, goal in mind. But that takes kind of a level of prioritizing. How important is this? I believe that AV is one of the most effective forms of activism that exists. Literally showing people the footage, educating the public, explaining, what goes on, and pointing them in the direction of the resources, giving them the materials. There's no more. It's the most non-evasive, most direct, and simplistic, form of activism, and all that's activism that exists, I think. But it needs work, like in terms of coordinating all the people involved. Like what we do is very simple, but it's about getting everybody on the same page. Mm-hmm. So,
well, I don't have 4 twin brothers I can offer up, but I do really like AV, and I'd like to keep being a consistent part of it. So,
appreciate
you can count on me, at least until the summertime when I'm going to fight wildfires.
Well, don't friggin' die. You're a firefighter?
Yeah, that's what I do in the summertime. It's a seasonal job.
It's cool, man. It's awesome. Any other comments? Anything else anybody wants to add or contribute? Julianne, Jamie. Did we lose somebody? Cindy's here. We lost, what's her name? That newer girl.
If we can find a place near our normal CUBE spot where we all have Wi-Fi, and just meet there like half an hour earlier than we usually do. Meet there at 5. I'll sit down, have a cup of tea, and just go over the laptops before we even go out to the corner.
That would be amazing, but once again, I can't even get people to show up, to the event on time. So you're asking people to show up even earlier, and that's literally like their whole day. Like, but yeah, it'll weed out the people who are available and committed. from those who aren't. But yeah, this actually, I want to have a laptop meeting. I want to have a physical in-person meeting where I get everybody's laptop. I don't care, new or old members, everybody's laptops on the table. Let's get all this shit straight, lined up. Everything's working like clockwork before we have Cube again. That's what I want to do. And I had Martha looking into maybe the library where it's quiet, where they have really good Wi-Fi. If anybody has access to a lot of little flash drives that they can use, could you please download all the video clips and all the songs onto some flash drives, and then just bring them with, and we meet in person, and I could just plug them in, so we don't even need to worry about Wi-Fi, and I could just download all the is it upload? I guess it's upload. Right? If you plug in the flash drive to everybody's laptop to get all the clips. If anybody could volunteer for that, like I have flash drives, but they're full right now, and I know that it might take a little bit of storage space, not that much, but if anybody can do that.
I have one.
Black Friday's coming up. You get a whole bunch of flash drives, pretty cheap.
I'm not shopping on that day though. If you want to camp out around Best Buy, my ex-girlfriend used to work at Best Buy, and it was like a nightmare.
Yeah,
you have to drop I drop it off at 3 in the morning, and the people are lined up around the block. It's crazy.
Flash drives won't go. TVs is
People
what
just
goes.
want them TVs.
You can get a flash drive probably anytime during the day.
Okay. Yeah, we had the tech. We had that big speaker with Amanda and with Jade. We had those big speakers, but they're not always there. Jade is further south, so she does the Salem one, but she said that she might start joining us again soon. We had lost my train of thought for a second. We had the big screen, flat screen TV with Christopher. It's not necessary. I want you guys to understand something. Like all the high tech equipment and stuff, it's great, and then the VR headsets are awesome. But right now, I'm more concerned with equipping the activists themselves so that they can speak more effectively to the public. You can have a 4-person cube with 2 or 3 outreachers, and you can influence and get like 30 converts, potential vegans, like just from that. If what you're doing is structured and tight and professional, and everybody's on point, it doesn't matter how large or how small it is. It's the efficacy of your methodology, your approach, all that stuff. So that's what's really important to me. That's why I've always wanted to focus more on the psychology involved, on how to talk to people, on why people come up with these lame-ass excuses, how to refute them, how to not get suckered into the trap of the diversions. That's really, really important. Anything else? How we doing?
Back to the flash drives. How many would you want ideally?
No. The idea is as many as we can get, so that we can just plug them all into the laptops at the same time. So it takes less time. So we don't have to plug it in, copy everything, and then take it out and then plug it into the next one. So with more flash drives, we could just accomplish this quicker.
If it's like $2 each, I'll pick that up for you. I said if I see that shit for like $2 each, I'll pick that up for you.
On Black Friday? On Black Friday? Are you gonna go somewhere on Black Friday? Or
Probably. I'll be in bed with family. We kind of a tradition.
Oh, really?
A shopping tradition?
Yep.
Like Staples, or where would you go? Where would you go to get them? Target, Staples, what?
Office Max, something like that.
Max?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it matter? I don't know.
Walmart.
Okay, so what we're looking at right now, Thanksgiving is next Thursday. So Black Friday is the 24th. So we're not going to have Cube again at least till next weekend. If you did that the 24th, we'd have to our tech meeting would have to be on Saturday. So the next Cube would be Sunday, if we can get all this established. So I'll just let it be tentative. That possibly next Sunday we'll have Cube somewhere. How do we do Sunday at Powell's? Was it a good turnout, or the weather was shitty?
I think it was a good turnout.
Like, because I'm thinking about the foot traffic on different days and stuff. So normally
it was on Sunday. It wasn't good. Like just because it's like Sunday, everyone's kind of like it's kind of like just family time, and I feel like most people aren't out on Sundays really at all.
I work Sundays. Let's not do this.
Okay.
And in the daytime, it was harder to see the screens again.
Right. Okay, but we have that tent now. I have that big ass tent that Michelle is letting me use. So it doesn't matter, rain, snow, sleet, or shine. Like we can hold Cube anywhere at any time of the day. It doesn't matter what the weather's like now. I just gotta set it up.
Then the traffic wasn't. I don't think it was that good.
That was Cube Day, right? It was on a Sunday.
Yeah, I think definitely Friday or Saturday would be the 2 options.
Right. Well, I was just trying to figure it out, the chronology of it, because we got to get this stuff straight before we do Cube again. So.
Yeah, totally.
But again, like we shouldn't have to do this. Everybody has access to the files now. I'm still getting people who are telling me they don't know how to download the files, or they don't know how to play the files. Does everybody know that when you download the files individually, you can download each one individually, and then you put them in a folder. They need to be in a folder by themselves. You have to have the VLC player, and then so that it can play, successively, like on autoplay.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody has to have the VLC, everybody has to download the files, and everybody has to have all of the footage, the 27 clips in one folder. I also want everybody to have the songs, just so that if one laptop dies, I'll still have a laptop with the music, because we got to have music. I feel like that's critical at this point. It's really important. I want it to be. This is another point. There's like two more points I'd like to make, actually. I want.
Question. Can I ask a question first?
Go ahead. Yeah,
no,
shoot.
You have all of these links and stuff in the event description. Do you have like some sort of template that they can look at to see like, okay, this is how you should do this if you have like these questions that are common?
No, I don't have a tutorial, but no, not in the event page, Emily. But I created 4 files. One file that has all the pertinent information that you need to do a Cube event. It's got the VLC, it's got the music, it's got the videos, the songs, it's got everything. That's like in the file section on the AV page. We talked about this earlier. So that's there. You have access to it at all times right now.
So you can just tell anyone like who asked you individually, just go to this resource, so you don't have to like explain it to them.
Exactly. Yeah. But I don't have like a tutorial explaining how to use your own damn laptop and download stuff. I just feel like that should be.
For that, I just feel like deal with it yourself. Like it's your computer.
I can't say that. Because there's some older people. There's some people who aren't as savvy with computer stuff. So I need a tech person. I mean, Emily was that, but she's out now. Emily Rounds, and I need just one tech person to just. What? What?
I said I'm not a tech person.
No, not you, Emily. The other Emily.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. I need one tech person who can just help people, like get their shit straight on their laptop. I know a lot of people have Mac, so it's a little weird. I hate using touchpads. I use a mouse for everything because like I'm an artist. I use the mouse a lot. But like, I hate messing with it. Like on site, I shouldn't have to do all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's get this stuff straight before the event. Like, this is just common sense. This is just being practical. Let's get all this straight ahead of time. Can somebody message that new girl? I don't know why she dipped out. Maybe she had to go. I just want to make sure I didn't offend somebody. I'm always offending somebody, so.
You're offensive.
Oh, yeah.
Kidding.
I am. I think I am for some reason. I'm a straight, white, heterosexual male who's not afraid to offend people, so I always end up offending people in Portland.
Don't make people jealous.
What's that?
Sorry, I'm gonna mute.
Sorry.
It's cool. I think she said, what, jealous because you're eating now? I'm starving, actually. Well, I'm just saying I want to contact that girl because I don't know why she dipped out. Maybe she had to go, or maybe it was bad. I'll reach out to her. What's her name? Alexia. Okay. Anything else? Any other issues? Anything else you want to talk about? I mean, there's a lot to talk about, but my brain's kind of fried. It was a long day, and it's a lot to deal with online today.
Where are we actually going from here? Is the next step to set up that library meeting?
Yes, the next step is to get that stuff on flash drive, or just put out a message, get everybody downloading. People are still saying that they can download some files, but others they can't. There's no reason, unless they have like the shittiest, smallest hard drive in the universe. We should be able to download the 27. Most of those clips are like 4 to 5 minutes long each. Some are 7 to 8 minutes long. Then you have the 3 shorter documentaries. Then you have the 2 longer documentaries. Then you have a trailer, and then you have a bunch of other clips that are they're all like under 4 minutes. It's not that much. It's not that much information. So your devices should be able to handle it. I don't know how the tablets work. Tablets are a little bit different. You have to download apps for everything, and it's weird. But again, if somebody could just step forward that's good with laptops and computers. See, I could individually figure this out if I had everybody's laptop, but like I can't get everybody together at the same time. So yeah, getting back to your question, Noah, we need a tech meeting to just resolve. I need every single freaking laptop in the Portland Animal Rights community there at the same time, and just get it all sorted out. That's what I'm trying to say. And I don't. Go ahead.
So you're not wanting to have another AV until you've got every single AR laptop. It's not going to happen though. Like it's going to be forever before that happens.
That's what I don't even understand why it's necessary, because right now everybody has access to the links, but not everybody knows how to download stuff. Not everybody knows how to set up their player. Not everybody knows how to get their players just running like continuously. Can I get a show of hands? Put your hand in front of the screen. If your player works, if it works and it works efficiently, and you've got all of the videos and you've got all the songs, put your hand in front of the screen.
I don't have the songs.
I'm just missing that one video.
I have almost all
put your hand up and keep it in front of the screen. Put it in front of the screen so I can see. Okay, Julianne, that's 2 people. Only 2 people have. Okay, is that who's? But
Emily.
Martha.
You got 3 people there though. So is it Martha, Emily, or?
It's Martha.
Okay, so 3 people now. 3 people out of a community of maybe 15 to 20 people. And
my foot up.
I know there are others that it's the same issue. So, okay, Emily, I agree with you. It's never going to happen. So how do we make it happen?
So we have a plan for when it doesn't work out, what do we do? So I can start bringing my external hard drive with all the videos and songs, and just
I'm not going to be downloading stuff during the event. It's got to happen before.
But I could be.
Yeah, but I need you doing outreach or in the queue.
This is before we actually set it up. Like when we get there at 5:30, not after we started.
Not everybody gets there at 5:30, Noah.
I know. It's not going to be perfect, but we have to mitigate and work with what we got.
That's the point, is that it might just be you and me standing there. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. I schedule it for 5:30 because everybody was I would schedule it for 6 and everybody would show up. Eventually they'd show up around 6:30, 6:45 is when we could actually start. So I thought, let me schedule it earlier, 5:30, and it still takes everybody like until 6 to get rolling. So, like, what do I have to do? Schedule it at 4?
Pafo, we're having a meeting right now. Do you want to go over some of that stuff right now? Like you said, people don't know how to set up VLC, or they don't know how to download it, or they don't know how to download Dropbox individually. Maybe go over that right now, or like share your screen or something.
Does anybody not know right now how to download the files?
Me.
And who's that?
Jamie.
Who's that? Okay. What are you using, a tablet or a laptop?
Yeah, a tablet. So it won't take a flash drive.
So that's the issue.
Okay.
Like I'm not sure how the tablets work. So we need a tech person to get that. You only have a tablet. You don't have a laptop.
No, I don't have a laptop.
It's okay because you're still valuable in the cube, holding signs, holding someone else's laptop. But if we're gonna use, that was a big issue actually. International Cube Day, we were like severely lacking in media. Like we had more people than we had laptops. And it was difficult. If some of you guys remember, it was really hard trying to balance it out, and it just didn't feel as effective because it wasn't like a screen like that. You know what I mean? Like it was like too spread out. We had our cube was larger than the amount of laptops we had. You know, would make it effective. So, like I've put out messages. You know, let me get a laptop count. Let me get a count. Like a head count of how many laptops we have. I'll get maybe 2 or 3 people responding. Like I can never get everybody on the same page at the same time to get a cohesive answer about anything. So I just deal with it at the time.
I know that you've been working on this, like you made like 2 separate chats at this point, but like before it was just so much that people were just muting, like you said. So I know you're working on that, but like keeping it just like
right. So
we'll pay more attention.
So the AV announcements group, or whatever it's called, is literally just for announcements, not for discussion. I think it's called AV Core Member Chat. That's for discussion. It's only got maybe 10 people in it, but I want to add more people, you know, gradually and get everybody in there as well, so we can discuss everything in that chat. And then the other one is just for announcements, just for logistical information. Yeah. So to try and address that, you know, that issue, because there were people who were just like posting GIFs, like posting little animated things, and like would leave like one comment, and I'm like, 150 people are getting notification every time you respond, every time you say something, and it's just so frivolous and unnecessary. And I look like an asshole because I'm trying to, you know, cut down on that. I'm trying to say this is for, you know, please respect and be considerate of all the other people. And every day I'm losing people from the group chat. Every single day, people are still just bowing out. They're not saying anything. They're just silently leaving. And I'm like, I don't know how to communicate to everybody. You know, communicate to everybody that you know, that you can turn off exactly the message that Noah, I think, left earlier. Was that earlier today? I can't remember. Yesterday, that said, you know, you can mute notification, you can mute conversation or turn off notifications from your phone. Like nobody seems to know that. So when I have to have a pre-written message that says welcome to the group. This group chat is for this purpose only. Blah blah blah.
So here's what I'm thinking, Pafo. I can make a video just recording me and my screen walking through how to find the essential links on the AV
tutorial page.
And then how to download VLC, how to download the videos from Dropbox, and how to put them on your desktop
for Mac or PC.
Well, I have a PC, so it'll be on PC, but the principles still apply.
It's exactly the same for Mac. If it's exactly the same, yeah. Then.
I'm not going to say it's exactly the same, but it should be close enough for most people.
Do it. Make a tutorial. Yeah, because you didn't have any problems with it, right? I mean, it was like just went to the Dropbox. No. Did you download each clip individually or all at once?
No, I just downloaded the folder, right-click or something, and say download folder, and downloaded.
It's so easy, right? I mean, it takes a while, right? It took a little bit of time, but
yeah.
Like, how long did it take?
Well, maybe no more than 10 minutes, but I have a really fast internet connection.
Okay. And the songs, how long the songs take to download?
Oh, super fast.
Okay, and then the same thing. It's like, okay, you put them in a folder, right? You put all the songs in one folder. You put all the video clips in one folder, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have people who have the clips all around, like everywhere in their computer, and I'm having to find clips while Cube is going on and try and create a playlist. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I'll make sure to emphasize.
You better not be laughing. Are you guys laughing because it's you? I think they're laughing because they're guilty of this. No? No?
No one's speaking up.
We'll see.
Poffo, I have a question.
Yeah.
I know you were talking about how there's a separate chat for the for when you do want to like say something that's more chat and less announcements. I noticed I don't think I'm part of that, and I don't see that in my messenger. Could you please add you to that?
Yeah, no worries. I can add you like literally right now.
Okay, thank you. Because I do respond to people in there sometimes, and I am one of those people that makes it a conversation, but I try to make it like useful, so it's still pertaining to what's going on. But yeah, I totally understand.
Yeah.
Like that should be more, you know, for like just back and forth questions. Like, oh, I need to know this.
Yeah, and we need a platform, a medium for that as well.
Right, of course, yes.
Are you trying to feed her an apple core?
We were laughing because I was trying to get her to seductively eat this fry out of my hand for you guys. She wouldn't do it.
I actually just made chili. That's why I turned off my camera. I'm guilty. I'm making chili. But I was totally listening.
This is a reflection of our group. This is exactly what is happening. Making dinner.
Sorry.
We're playing games. No, I don't care. We got some people that my internet's bad. I can't make it. Sorry. No, it's fine.
I know I had to come back like 3 times because it kept like being weird.
If you guys know anything about me, I mean, there's barely anything that I do that's like formal. I'm really not professional at all about anything, but like when I'm doing Cube, I'm very professional. It's like the only time that I'm like dead serious.
My cats fighting. Cats, stop.
I'm like dead serious when I'm doing Cube, but like the rest of the time, I mean, it's totally fine. Like for this meeting and stuff.
Go.
I'm not like,
Yeah, I'll make a video tutorial and we can post it every time that we have a cube. We can put it in the event page. If you don't know how to set up your stuff, here's a step-by-step.
No, not every time. Let's just put it in the files so they have access to it. Tell them it's
I don't think that's a good idea because some people just don't know where the files are.
I've made the announcements. I'll make another post about it. But you're saying a link to a YouTube video that explains it. I'll put it in the essential links in the file.
I think that's a mistake.
And we'll create a post about it. Because this is what I'm trying to cut down on. I shouldn't have to send the same information.
No, you're not sending it. Just on you make a different event page for each cube, right?
Yeah.
So like just in a comment on every event page or in the description, you can say if you don't know how to set up your electronics, just go to this link.
Right, but okay, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem doing it at all. No, I'll do that. Like in the event page, like in the details section or something.
Yeah.
Right? But here's the thing. Not everybody reads the details in the event page. Not everybody. People sign up. People show up who have not RSVP'd. People will RSVP and not show up. People will will join. They'll go to the event page, but they won't read anything on it. You see what I'm saying? It's like this is the issue.
It's a step
Some
forward,
of these things are just thank you. Like it's never gonna be as perfect as you want it to be. Like to be blunt, you just kind of have to get over it and like do the best that you can. Like putting that stuff into the event page, and like if some individual asks you about it, just be like, send them the event if you have to, and just be like, there's a link in here. Go to that. Please do this before the event.
This is what I've done this whole time. So let me ask you a question, Emily. Should I have to? Should I have to continuously hold everybody's hand when everybody
I'm not
here is
saying
an
like
adult?
that's something you should have to do, but
you just told me that I have to, and I should get over it.
I'm saying it's never going to be how you want it to be. It's not going to be perfect like that. So
like life isn't
perfect. Hold on a second. But is this really perfection that I'm asking for, or just
it's sounding like it?
Yeah. A lot of volunteers. You've recruited so many volunteers and grown this group so much, and people are not reliable. Like it's just not the way it's going to be.
You're saying that we have numbers, but we don't have the consistency, even though we have more numbers.
I think we need numbers in people who are willing to actually commit every single week. And I'm not saying that I'm one of those people. I'm just saying, I mean, I try to be, but obviously I've been absent lately, but I'm saying like, we need more people to commit to actually being there. We don't need more support. Like we have the support, but we need, I don't know, like we need more vegan activists in Portland. Vegan activists in Portland who actually want to do it every week.
Emily, can you and Martha and Brandy and Jocelyn do the things that I'm asking for? Can you guys personally do those things?
What, show up every time?
No. Just the consistency and everything we've just been talking about. Are you guys capable? Are you guys personally capable yourselves?
Of going to every event, or just having it all unlocked when they are there?
What? Wait, it was jumping around.
Of going to every event, or just having all their time?
No. I know that not everybody can attend every event. That's not even what it's about. Like, I'm talking about all this other stuff, all the little details that I'm talking about.
If you have if you know the people there, whoever's showing up at 5:30 or something, designate them something to do on outreach. Like, tell me, okay, I want you to be watching the computers and making sure they're still running, or tell Jocelyn that she needs to make sure the cube looks nice, or whoever wants to do that. Like, just give someone a designated thing, like whoever's showing up that day. Like, you can't just expect 5 people to commit totally to these roles and coming out to cube like you want them to. Like, it would be nice, yeah, but it's
I'm not expecting it. I'm working with what I have. I've been working with what I have from the beginning. But what I'm saying is, do you think it's unreasonable to have that with this?
I think it can grow and develop naturally if we start like Emily is saying. People who show up at 5:30, that these are probably the most punctual and reliable people, and they showed up right away on time. So you give them the task that time. Maybe they show up again the next time. You give them the same task or a different task. After 5 times, they become part of that core group.
Right. But it's just like what I said, is that they're not always there. They're not always available every weekend. But you never answered my question. All I was saying was, are you 4, Martha, Brandy, Emily, Jocelyn, are you actually capable of the things that I said? That's all I'm saying. Yes or no? It's kind of a rhetorical question. I know that you're capable of it, and I'm asking you to do it. So if you can do it, that's a start. That's all I'm saying. I'm not asking the entire group. I'm speaking to you guys. So if you can personally just think about everything that I've said and make it a priority, then we've made progress. Because I know that every one I'm talking to right now is capable of this. Like, it's all reasonable what I'm saying. You're saying that I'm asking for perfection, but I'm asking you to do what I already know that you're capable of doing. So I'm saying, let's start with us. And let's set an example, and then others can. I agree with you. Like, when new people come in, it's always going to be a work in progress, but it shouldn't be a work in progress for you guys. I mean, you guys are the veterans. You've been doing this before I came here, so you know what I'm saying?
I just mean as far as expecting every single time people are going to come out and they're going to have a specific role to come out and at every single cube and do that. Like, I can't tell you right now that that's something I can do. So no, the answer to that question would be no, as I can't tell you that I can do that. I know. When I am out there, then yeah, I'll do whatever you want me to do. Like, designate me your role.
But not because you don't want to, right? Or not because you're incapable, right? But it's because you're not always available, because you have other obligations, because you have other commitments to other forms of activism, right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why. So I'm saying it's not that you're not capable. It's just you have other commitments. So all I'm saying is, I appreciate everything you guys have done. Keep doing what you're doing. I want to build a core group of people who can say yes to that question. That's all I'm saying.
I get that.
Yeah.
And so I'm in the same boat. Like, I would love to be a tech person every week. But again, I just can't. So I feel like I'm in the same boat as Emily.
Yeah, and you were gonna move away, and then you.
I know, and then I was gonna move, and then I came back. Oh my god, that was so dumb.
Where were you going to move?
I was gonna move to SoCal, and I like told everybody about it one day, and then we like didn't.
You just wanted like going away gifts. You just wanted like people to be like, "Oh, we're gonna miss you so much." Oh.
Did it
And
work?
then you're like, "Oh, just kidding, just kidding. It's off. I'm staying." You had all these going away gifts that you made out.
I remember getting any gifts, so I remember getting hugs though. That was nice.
Hug thief.
And I remember meeting Adaret Gold. That was really cool. I should stay in Berkeley and not go to SoCal. That was really cool.
So, okay, so here's a question. Is there anybody here on this lineup right now, that can say that they can 100% commit? And I'm not talking about being there every single weekend, but commit in terms of like mentally deciding that this is their form of activism, that they're gonna focus on. This is gonna be their central focus. Can anybody in this lineup say that right now?
Yeah, I can.
I think I can as well.
All right. Well, that's a start.
Martha said
yes.
And Martha. Okay. So now I got to figure out what that means.
No, I don't think it's necessary to say, "Hey, Martha, you're just doing tech. Every event, all event."
No. See, it's much more. This is much more of like a I don't know how to explain it. This is much more of a ceremonial position, is what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
That like there's just an understanding there. It's not literally like physically being there every single weekend, or you just literally being able to physically do this one thing. It's not that. It's just like, I don't know, man. It's like a gang. Are you in or are you out? You know, like this is the AV gang. You know, like you guys, are you in or are you out? Like
What's the initiation like? Are we beaten with radishes?
The initiation. The initiation is you have to spend a day doing what I do online and dealing with people.
I would die.
I don't know. You have to, I don't know, maybe watch the footage that I watch, and deal with the people that I deal with. But no, it's not that, because that's not AV. That's my own stuff that I do, that I've taken on. I don't know how to say it, man. It's like, let this be your focus. And this doesn't have to be forever, but like for right now, let this be your number one focus, your number one form of activism that you're going to 100% commit to. That's all I'm saying. So the idea is kind of like, it's not like I'm leading AV and there's a bunch of volunteers. It's like, we are AV. That's the difference. You know what I'm saying? We are Anonymous for the Voiceless. I mean, every time people come out and volunteer, we're all Anonymous for the Voiceless. We are all doing it. But I'm saying, in your thought process, like, we are AV. Like, this is what I do. This is what we do. You know what I mean? And we're doing it together. That's the idea. Mm-hmm. So, come to my house, on a bunch of ecstasy, we'll have a big orgy, and that'll bond us together. That's it.
You're such a liar.
Did you guys read the book It, or did you see the movie? Well, in the original book,
at your house.
This is true. She's smart. Yeah, it's a drug-free environment. In Stephen King's book It, that's how they like defeated the monster. The kids all had like an orgy in the original novel. They had an orgy,
What?
and in Stephen King's mind, he was like, "This makes sense." I mean, it's back in like the 70s, the 80s. He wrote it. And he was like, this makes sense for prepubescent kids to all bond, and the girl took turns having sex with all the boys. Did you guys know this?
I heard about it. I never read the book.
I've never heard that in my life.
The kids actually, that's how they bond, and because on some level, it brings them all together, and it becomes like a coming of age like ritual, and then they're able to like rejoin later on. They get back together and they defeat the monster. He's like an interdimensional being, but they actually have an orgy. Yeah, the kids. There was like 12-year-old kids. Pretty racy, pretty controversial scene. Yeah, he talks about it in interviews and stuff. So what does that have to do with us? I have no idea. I'm just
Yeah, I think we're off
referencing.
the rails now.
Yeah. I guess what I'm trying to say is I want us to bond on a certain level, and it's a bond that's either going to be there or it's not going to be there. I'm not going to slip roofies in your drinks. There, it's not there. So we'll see how it goes. As I said, I believe that we're all committed to animal rights, and I'm thankful for that. You know, it's just you know, which group are you resonating with, and which one are you willing to devote your, you know, in a singular sense, your time and energy to. So I think I have that with some others, but they're not physically available. They're not always physically able to be there, you know. So it's just difficult. I have them kind of up here. I have them, but they're not physically there. Do you want to say something, Martha, Brandy? Anybody? Jamie looks like she's falling asleep. Cindy's bored as hell. She's like, God, is this ever gonna end? All right, so I guess we can wrap it up. Martha, is the library is that going to be our thing? Where the hell's the library? I don't even know where a library is. I can look it up, I guess.
Library.
Public library. I don't know. I just saw the one in Vancouver. I don't know if that's too far for peeps.
Oh, okay.
Isn't there a library on 10th Street or something in Portland downtown?
Yeah, there's
No
a
idea.
library downtown.
No, that's Powell's bookstore.
No,
Wait.
not Powell.
Wait, let's Google library.
Shit, they have shitty Wi-Fi and
The Multnomah County
people.
Library.
Sure, the Multnomah County Library System exists. I've just never been a part of it because I too live in Vancouver, so community library.
Oh.
Has anybody spoken with Sandy? Sandy and Jade, the Salem chapter. Do you know how the Salem chapter is doing? Anybody?
Oh, my head.
Good? Because Sandy's awesome? I don't know.
Wasn't Sandy in the meeting on Wednesday?
Yeah.
There's one by Pioneer Square. No! What are you...
Downtown Portland would probably be the most fair place to have something like that. At like
It's like right down the
Portland
street.
library.
I see.
It's the central. It's the
Multnomah
central
County.
library, like next to Target.
It looks like there's
Sort
one
of.
in the university too. Portland State University Library. What about that one? Or
I
is
think,
it,
I think
it's not-
during the day you can get access to that, but after
Okay.
a certain point, it's only for students. But I could look into that. I should.
Okay, no,
probably know
well,
that.
the regular my screen keeps changing. Multnomah County Central Library, that one.
Yeah.
Multnomah County. It looks like it's in between off 11th and Yamhill.
Is it?
Here, is this it, guys? I'll paste it in the chat. That's not working.
And are we talking about renting a room where we could all talk to
So-
each other? Because remember, most libraries you're not really supposed to talk or have like chatter. So we're talking about like a private room that we're gonna get
We
for
wanna-
like an hour, right?
We just want a quiet place to work out all the technical issues with the laptops.
So there are rooms that you can like rent out at PSU Library, and during the academic year they close to the public at 9 p.m. So that's an option for sure
How much is it? Do you know?
to get in.
You said you rent the rooms. So how much is it to rent?
It's free. No, not rent, just like book, like
Oh, okay.
just like. have the-
Okay, can I get a liaison to take care of that? Can somebody contact PSU and schedule that for I'm trying to think I mean
It's
like
possible you have to be a PSU student to reserve a room, but I can call and ask them.
Aren't you a
That's
student?
what I was thinking.
I
Emily,
won't be able to be there.
I thought you were a student, Emily. You live there.
Not currently.
Oh, okay.
But I can call and ask them.
Okay. Find out and get back in touch with me about that. Otherwise, we can do the local library. Like,
when are you wanting it?
Just sometime, I don't know, sometime this week.
In the evening?
Before Thanksgiving, whatever works. Again, this is entirely contingent on the availability of the people, like, because we're trying to get everybody's laptops.
Well, I won't. Like, do you want me to just reach out to see if it's possible, or do you want me to like try to book it? Because I need to know when that's gonna happen.
Pafo.
Yeah.
This week might be hard for people just because people might be out of town because it's Thanksgiving. So just a thought.
Right. Okay.
Wednesday, because that's right before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We have.
I have no problems with it. I mean, it's just I'm getting people messaging me like, when are we doing Cube again? When's the next Cube? And I'm just like, we got to take care of this stuff first. So, but I have no problems, postponing until we get it all straight. That's fine. We can wait till.
How about Monday evening?
Okay. Again, can we reach out to everyone? I'm hearing the echo. Can we reach out to everyone? Like collectively, and would they be able to take a trip down there and bring their laptops?
It's not going to be everyone.
Huh?
Not
what?
me.
Yeah. See, this is the issue. It's like herding cats. You got like all these different people.
People.
What?
I'm busy. I have lots.
Yeah, and this week it's the holiday week, so I mean we can just, let it go until after Thanksgiving. But then I don't want to get a bunch of messages and be like, I want to do activism. I'm so gung ho. Why aren't you scheduling a Cube? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you guys are cool with that, and as long as we can agree that this is going to be our focus for the week after Thanksgiving, let's just shoot for that. Like, let's just take vacation this week, and then the 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, then we can focus on getting everybody on the same page. It's a weird thing because I'm just like, maybe I can meet different people at different times individually, but it's just a pain in the ass. All right, so let's just worry about it next week. Not next week, but wait, what day is it? Today?
It's Friday. Let's just put it
Friday.
through next week. There's a lot going on
yeah,
anyway.
so forget about next week, and we'll just do the week after. But that's our next major step, is just getting everybody together with the laptops, getting all the tech stuff straight.
One other thing that it would be nice for the AV to own, or at least one of the core members to own, is a bigger speaker, and maybe a portable battery bank with sockets, like plugins.
Yeah.
I can never go shopping on Black Friday, but are those things that would be on sale on Black Friday? Emily?
Yes. Emily? I like how she froze. She just goes.
You said it's your family tradition.
I'm not a tech person. We go buy random shit.
That particular item before.
What
Okay.
an ass.
So I don't know.
Like a charger, like a plug-in.
Yeah, but a portable one.
Portable
plug
battery
like
bank
anything
that has
into.
sockets.
Yeah, I don't.
And also a big portable Bluetooth speaker.
The speaker we have works good for right now, but of course it'll be great if we had a better one. Jade's got a perfect setup, but it's getting it. It's Ricky's, and it's just getting it. But she did mention that she's going to start joining us more, so I don't know. But yeah, I agree. Like Amanda's speaker or Jade's speaker was perfect. The little one I have now, it works, but it actually lasts the 3 hours. I don't think As long as it's charged, it's good. So it's good for right now, until we find something else. But yeah, all these things we can upgrade. Marley put like a message out, a post that said anybody want to go in on it. We can order a bunch of sweatshirts and T-shirts in bulk. I think like to date, no one has even responded. Let me see.
I really want a T-shirt. They're just expensive.
And that's why we can order a whole bunch in bulk, and it'll be cheaper.
Yeah, I'd love a T-shirt and a hoodie.
Yeah, it's definitely a plan to get one. So maybe I'll drop a comment right now.
Yeah, just comment under her post, and we can place an order. I'll do the same.
What is this?
Miley post from Portland. Maybe for merch.
All right. Any more pressing business tonight?
Not the see Sandy responded, and Emily Barnett responded. That was it. No, that's pretty much it, man. I don't want to keep you guys, and I appreciate your time. And thanks for the contributions, Noah and everyone else. Any other questions or anything else anybody want to add before we wrap it up?
When are we having our live debate, Pafo?
Which one? Which one? Because I mean, there's
what?
Like so many.
After I commented on your video with Chandler and the other guy, that sort of debate.
Oh, with Gaius, the one with Gaius.
Some ideological differences to pound out with those guys.
Right. That may happen whenever they're available.
Right.
But yeah, like some stuff we could work out there. Definitely create a good video that'll educate people. Yeah, I've got so many things going on right now. I'm trying to just focus, like I'm telling you guys to do, on one thing at a time. Yeah, I'll keep you.
Did you say Marley posted that in Portland Animal Activism or AV Portland?
In AV Portland. Yeah. So it's like hoodies are like $50, long sleeves are 30, wide neck sweatshirt. What's a wide neck sweatshirt?
Yeah, it's beneath like 5 posts from Pafo.
I can just make a comment and bring it back up to the top. So it should be at the top of the timeline right now. That's the cool thing about Facebook. You just comment and it brings everything back up.
And I'm sure you can go to their website and see previews of all these items.
Yeah. It's on the merchandise. Scoop neck T-shirt, tank, duffel bag, cotton tote. The main thing is just hoodies and T-shirts, or whatever. It's winter now, so long sleeve. And I'm not even sure how it would work out. Like we can. She said like somehow get it to her. She can put the order in. Split the costs, we'll work it out. I don't know. Again, it's got to be priority. I mean, you guys, everybody has to want this in order to make it happen. They give you a discount if you buy stuff in bulk. I know it's expensive, but they do give you a discount if it's a large order.
All right.
Cool.
So, look at my cat making biscuits in the bed. You see him? Sure.
Oh, so cute.
Sure. He's like, fuck off.
Where's Seabreed?
All right, so yeah, we're just kind of dragging on now. So
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thanks, Noah. Thanks, everybody. Do appreciate it.
Thank you.
And this
It's
should
great
look.
spending Friday night with you guys.
I'll have some music and stuff going on, some
You as
lights in the
well,
background, to make it more interesting. It was a little dry. It was a little slow at first, but I think it's good. We got a lot of stuff. We talked about a lot of stuff, so I think we're making progress. I just feel like there should have been like like 5-10 more people here. Everybody voted to do Friday evening. Like half the people who voted for this time frame aren't here. So there you go.
Did you announce when it would be, like a day in advance?
It's been for like a week and a half. I've been trying to have this meeting for almost 2 weeks now.
I know, but you've been switching the times, and I never saw an announcement that was like Friday at 7 p.m. we're having.
No, I never switched the times. I had the poll so that I could find out everybody's availability, and then everybody agreed on Friday evening. And then I was messaging, and I messaged in the group chat like, okay, so Wednesday afternoon, Friday evening. But like all the people that voted is what I'm saying is like.
Oh, was that in the core member chat?
In both.
Okay.
So in both and on the page. Yeah, so whatever, it is what it is. But hey, let's keep in contact, let's keep in touch, and we can work out all the kinks hopefully soon. So have a good night, you guys, and we'll be in touch. Thanks for all your contributions. Let's get that location down. Noah, the stuff you mentioned, work on that, and I hope everybody else, it was edifying and informative. So thanks for your participation.
All right. Good night, y'all.
Hey, good night.
Cool.
Thank you.
Right, have a good one. Yeah. Thanks.